So I was like an original scammer. Like I would make people sign up for like this free iPod website.
Oh my God.
And do you know how many free iPods I got?
Wild Til 9! Are you ready?
Yep, let's go home.
MeUndies makes the softest fabrics you've ever put on your body so you can sit on your couch all day or go out and live your comfiest life. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 20% off plus free shipping and returns. To get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/wild. That's MeUndies.com/wild.
Welcome back to Wild Till 9. For those who are on video, you might already be in on the secret, unless our camera hasn't got to it yet. But Lauren looks a little bit different this week. Just
Hello.
a little bit. Ooh, that was good.
Hi, I LaurDIY.
That was good. Uh-huh. And any other fun facts you know about LaurDIY?
I love crafting.
Okay.
Love to craft.
This is like the little test on like when you have to prove you're a human.
Yes.
Yeah. If you were going to have to prove you were a human in like 3 facts or less, which ones would you go with?
I absolutely fail every time. It's like, show me the motorcycle, the van, the stoplight.
Is that a hill or a stoplight? I don't know. Anyway.
The boat. I don't know.
For audio listeners who haven't already read the title, because you just listened immediately, which is very nice, iJustine is here today. iJustine is here filling in for Lauren because she is gallivanting off to Toronto in Canada. I wish I could say, actually, we'll just bleep it out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, so that's why she's going to New York.
Oh my
And then we're going to
goodness.
do a little Canadian tour together.
How fun.
And most importantly, she left the other side of the world so that the world, our listeners who don't already know you, can fall in love with you as well. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. This is super exciting.
So I will admit, and Devin and I feel like for the last 24 hours have become the number 1 and number 2 consumers of iJustine.
Who's number 1? Who's number 2?
Devin's number 1 for sure.
I'm an enthusiast, I would say.
I mean, I walked in here and I literally came from recording Annoying Orange. For those of you who don't know, it's a cartoon on YouTube that has been there since the beginning. And you were watching Annoying Orange. Like, that's wild.
Yep.
I can't believe
The
it.
coincidence. What do you know?
When I was like, hey, Devin, what's the high points? Like, go over like what you think we should chat about. There wasn't any high points. It was just, here's 97 new things. And I was
Oh my
like,
God, yeah. Everything was different. So many different things.
well, okay, correct me if Wikipedia is incorrect here, but you do have a YouTube channel. We'll just leave it there before we get into something of what the scale bet is that's been operating for what, over 2 decades almost? Well, you've been operating for over 2 decades.
2006.
Wow. You've uploaded over 2,000 videos. I didn't even know that was possible.
I stopped counting. I don't know.
At a certain point you do. You're a
Yeah.
New York Times bestseller.
Oh, cool.
You've guest starred on Law & Order, Criminal Minds, Vampire Diaries.
Oh, wait. Those are my favorite shows, so I just wanted to be on them.
Got it. And you've won Webby Awards. You've won Streamy Awards. You've been nominated for Teen Choice Awards. You've been nominated for Shorty Awards. And you are most importantly a lightsaber enthusiast.
Oh, yes. Oh, is that on my Wikipedia now?
No, I think I added
Oh,
that.
okay. I was like, man, somebody needs to add it.
We can add it. We'll add
Actually,
it.
I'm pretty sure if we just talk about it right now and they just
Yeah.
reference it. And she's a lightsaber enthusiast.
There it is.
Resource.
Timestamp.
And although there are a lot of accomplishments that are almost as important as this, the 2 things I want to start with are the fact that you are a lightsaber enthusiast and that you've gotten into jujitsu recently or the last few years.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I want to start.
And knife fighting as well.
What?
Devin, you missed that one.
Do you-
Didn't, Knife fighting.
Well, I mean, people like, they don't really like weapons.
So
They
like
don't
a
to,
fake knife?
Well, of course you train with fake knives. You're not going to train with live.
Right,
When
right.
do you switch over?
That's when in the streets.
Okay, all right,
That's when you switch over.
Let's go
Are we
back.
going to catch you in the streets, Justin?
I don't know. I walk sometimes.
So what came first? Lightsaber enthusiast, jiu-jitsu, or knife fighting?
Jiu-jitsu actually came first.
Okay.
I don't really know. Actually, I do know why.
No, I was
Okay.
going to say,
Yeah.
I heard the story and I love it. And I think everyone should
Oh,
listen
everyone
to this.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know why. Yes, I do. I was at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. Having a little pasta, me and my sister hanging out. And this guy was yelling at this woman, like absolutely just saying the most terrible things ever to her. I'm assuming it was his wife. She starts crying. And then he's like, MF this, like all these swear words yelling at
And
her.
you could hear it
Yeah.
from your
He's
table.
right behind me. And he's like, saying all this stuff. He's like, you should stop, like, telling her to stop crying. And I was just like, I'm done with this man. And he's like an older dude, like 70 plus. I don't know, like
Oh.
old dude. And I go, she'd maybe stop crying if you would stop yelling at her. And then he like charges at me. And I'm just like, in this moment, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then my sister like grabs her butter knife and all the people come out of the woodwork. And this is kind of like, this restaurant it was called Guido's.
Oh,
and it is
okay.
like an like gambling, like in the back of the day. Like if you look it up,
This
Guido's.
isn't their first fight?
No. I think
Got
they've
it.
seen a lot of stuff. So like all these people came out of like the woodwork.
Sure.
to like protect me. I don't know if this guy was, anyway, in that moment, I was like, I don't know what I would do in this situation. I didn't know what to do. And I was super scared. And like at that time too, I was going through a lot, like, you know, YouTube drama, family, personal stuff. And I was like, I feel so weak mentally, physically, and I'm just a disaster. And I walked into this jujitsu gym, and let me tell you how quickly you want to get humbled is walk into a gym, not knowing anything, where people are literally, you fight for your life.
Isn't that the whole idea? Like jiu-jitsu puts you in like the near death feeling.
Yes.
To like unlock the whole point of it.
And it's one of the only martial arts that you really can do that, because you basically will submit someone until they tap. So unless you got that tap, you know, when you're boxing, you can go full force, but you really can't go as hard as you normally would.
And like when you went from I feel completely helpless to jiu-jitsu, was there nothing in between those two? Was there a research like, oh, maybe I'll do this? Or was like, let's just go to jiu-jitsu?
I don't know. I went to that because I was a huge Tool fan. Well, I still am.
Yeah.
And I'd always heard Maynard talking about jujitsu. And so in the back of my mind, like that was the martial arts that I really wanted to do.
Wow.
And so rolled up to the gym, and I talked to this woman, and she's like, well, we have a couple trainers here. We have one, this guy named Kenny Florian. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. He sounds nice. Didn't know anything about anything. Did not know the legend that was Kenny Florian.
Sure.
And then ended up training with him for a couple years until I got my blue belt. And I was just like, this is incredible. And I haven't been training as much now just due to like my random blood clot that I got this year. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
And then the pandemic, like what the heck?
So like you went from no martial arts before in your entire life to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
To now like bringing that with you for the rest of your life, or do you think you're done with it?
No, definitely. I mean, it's, even though I'm not, you know, actively training every single day, like I still watch videos. I'm always kind of, you know, engaging in the community. And what jiu-jitsu taught me though was, obviously you get hurt a lot. So it kind of taught me, when you have an injury, like find something else to do to train something else. So when I wasn't able to do jiu-jitsu, I went to the gym just like working out normally, and I saw these two guys hitting each other with sticks. And I'm like, that looks fun. Found out that was a martial arts called Kali, which was a Filipino martial arts. And so I started doing that because I couldn't walk on my toe. So I'm like, you know, fighting with some sticks. But I can hit somebody with a stick. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I really like knives. So then we kind of transitioned that into knives. And then my trainer was also like, you know, this would be really cool to do with lightsabers. I was like, wait, what?
Did you say lightsabers?
So then like we wanted to do a Christmas video like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And like just started training lightsabers. I'm like, well, I'm not that good yet. So we just kept training, and then we never made the Christmas video.
Well, so you just...
No, we just... No.
You were going to learn how to do lightsabers for a Christmas video. Yeah. The video has not been made.
No.
But you are still a lightsaber enthusiast.
Oh, yes.
Like there's 3 or 4 lines maybe on the front page of your website, and that's one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to be a Jedi.
Are we talking like flips between the fingers with the saber?
Yeah. Like little tricks.
I wish we could cut to a clip so badly.
Well,
is there anything out there?
No, she didn't do it. That's the sad thing.
But I have an actual iJustine lightsaber. There's a video.
Like sold separately?
Sold separately.
All right, but if we can find a video of that,
that'll
be playing on the
This
video.
is going up on the screen.
Hold up.
You search iJustine lightsaber, that's gonna pop up. We went to Hawaii and did a whole like short film.
Oh my God.
It's the IJ series episode 1. You'll see that. This is there they are.
Wow.
They come in 3 different colors.
My God.
And why I like the little hilt there is because like when you're actually battling, you're not gonna get your hand hit.
You're saying this like, oh my God.
It's just the thing.
That's hilarious.
It's just the thing.
Also, the fact that you're like able to command $400 for merchandise just goes to show that
lightsabers are expensive.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
They're expensive to make too, right?
And these are like, you know, the quality that if you're going to go out and battle someone.
Right. I mean, can you imagine showing up with a subpar lightsaber to a Jedi fight?
That's where I started. Yeah. It was not good.
I got to be honest. You probably just saved a lot of people from having that same level of embarrassment.
Combat quality.
Those are available. Also, do you have to like order those ahead of time and like have an inventory of lightsabers sitting around?
We do have an inventory, yeah. So they're there if
also
anybody wants
hilarious.
them. I mean,
that's
so like in an apocalypse, you have a ton of lightsabers ready on hand.
Well, what's crazy is there's actually like lightsaber tournaments.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Have you gone?
Well, no, I wanted to, but I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough.
Oh, you feel like a little bit of like a poser.
No, I mean, it's just these people are very good. Like they're very talented.
So have you just not gone because you don't feel good enough, or have you not been invited to one yet?
I wasn't invited, but I think you just sign up. It's kind of like an open competition.
Free for all.
I feel like you're kind of giving me 2 sides of the story. It's really prestigious and difficult.
on my medical records, it now says I have a blood clot because of my wielding a lightsaber. So I kind of had to take a hiatus to
Can you imagine,
my
like,
favorite.
on a first date, like rattling off that fact, be like, so like, and then like I got a blood clot this year, and then they diagnosed it was from the lightsaber class that I take every Tuesday, and
Casual.
That's how you weed them out. That's how you find the good ones.
You know, you start.
You let them know. You let
go
them know
full
all
crazy.
the weird stuff up front.
Yeah, and if they stick around, you go either this person's weirder than I am, or they're perfect.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Works out great.
I love that. No, what's funny is that you said you've never been to the lightsaber events, but you have been to the World Air Guitar Championship,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
In San Francisco.
which I thoroughly enjoyed watching.
It was the most interesting thing that I've ever seen.
Justine, when you hear about things like this, I assume you have not been to the World Air Guitar Championship before you're like asked to go make content for them, right?
I think I just like, I don't remember why.
Oh my God.
Why was I here?
Also, talk about like the quality of video back in the day.
Oh my God. Wait, I don't remember.
I mean,
We have a video from 14 years ago.
Oh my God, my hair is so short. What am I wearing? What is happening?
you also kind of like have to like define age.
Challenge craziness.
Why was I here?
And he's one of the sponsors.
Exactly. Literally,
I don't
I'm
remember.
not kidding. That's what is so interesting
Who's
about
filming
you.
this?
The more I like peel the onion layer back, and this is the problem when I meet people as friends and I don't see what their like the professional work is before. I just assume I think I know them. I knew nothing. I knew nothing.
I didn't remember this. I couldn't even tell you who's filming. I don't remember this happening.
When I tell you that when Devin sent this to me, I was like,
Oh, I was geeking out too.
she did what?
She went to what?
This is amazing. I also thought it was very funny. We had a house party, I don't know, 6 months ago, and it was like we're out in the backyard. And for whatever reason, there were 3 friends who like Lauren and I are close with, who all came up to us separately, and we're like, "Is that iJustine?" Yeah, and not that I wouldn't have thought all of these guys wouldn't have been #1 fans of yours. They were just like there were, I think, other people at the party that are all doing the same kind of things. Obviously not to them. So I don't know if it was the air guitar championship or
Definitely.
anything else, but you have a certain allure over certain people.
That's so crazy. I mean, is it because I'm old? I've just been doing so many things.
I didn't say that.
No, I said it.
Although Devin did mention when she walked in how he watched the content in middle school.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, I mean, it's actually kind of cool. Like when kids are like, they're not kids, they're adults now. They're like, oh my
Right.
God, you're my childhood. And I'm like, how old are you now?
You're a Renaissance woman, you know?
Oh, I like that.
You have just done so many incredible things in so many different fields too, which is rare, you know? So you're a Renaissance woman.
So to that point, before we get on to how we got to the, I guess the person you are today, I do need just a quick intro from your perspective on how the coal miner's daughter and the phys ed teacher's daughter went from random town in Pennsylvania to kind of building, I guess even in the beginning, a brand that didn't exist for you, at least as a kid.
Well, I mean, even what we're doing now didn't exist. Like
do you mean?
people like, posting YouTube videos,
Right.
doing any of that stuff. So it was just weird because I felt like, growing up, I mean, I liked weird things. I liked playing video games. I liked creating art, which
Weird
is not,
things.
was weird.
Yeah.
And now it's like, this is the cool thing to do.
Well,
Not in high school.
right. Because like at your high school, were there any other girls interested in playing video games? Okay.
There was a couple girls.
Okay.
Very, very few.
Okay.
And like we would go to LAN parties.
Yeah.
So like I didn't go to my prom. Like we had LAN tie prom where we were playing like an Unreal tournament.
You need to explain that to the audience. That's
Local area network.
yeah. She just took the acronym and made that part of the party name, which I appreciate.
Yeah. So we all brought computers to like one person's house. We've got the Doritos, we've got the Mountain Dew. Like it is
Yeah.
your stereotypical LAN party, and it's
It couldn't have been that old because at a certain point, multiple computers connected to the same network just wouldn't have worked. So
Yeah.
it couldn't have been that long.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Lauren, what are your thoughts on being wildly uncomfortable every single day?
I literally would rather just not exist.
Totally. And what are your thoughts on wearing wildly uncomfortable underwear, on whether you're wearing comfortable or not so comfortable clothes every day?
I just wouldn't wear them.
Well, then you're going to love our next sponsor, MeUndies. MeUndies believes that when you feel comfortable, you can do anything. Yes, that includes having a positive outlook on your day or organizing your side of the closet when it's a little bit of a mess.
Okay. I feel like this is a little personal, but
Yeah,
okay. We're talking about underwear?
They missed that part of the script. They should have put it in there. Yeah.
Okay. I love MeUndies. Not only are they extremely comfy, and you guys know how passionate I am about not putting anything that's not ridiculously soft against my skin, but the patterns and designs are also super cute. The holidays are right around the corner, and I am the #1 fan of the holidays. So you already know that I've been searching for some super cute holiday undies to wear. It is only November, but no one has to know that under these sweats is a pattern of a rhino wearing a Christmas sweater. MeUndies makes the softest fabrics you've ever put on your body, so you can sit on your couch all day or go out and live your comfiest life. Once you try their undies, socks, bralettes, and loungewear, you will never go back.
Choose from a range of limited edition prints and colors and sizes from extra small to 4XL. You can also sign up for their free to join MeUndies membership, which I personally, a big member.
You need.
Yeah, well, also like join me in the membership. We can have like a group and everything. It'll be fun. Where in this membership, you get a monthly subscription that sends new styles right to your door. Plus, enjoy up to 30% off virtually everything they make, free shipping, returns on every order, early access to new launches, and exclusive members-only sales.
MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 20% off plus free shipping and returns. To get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/wild. That's MeUndies.com/wild. Our days of mandatory class attendance have been long gone. I actually took Jeremy to my university campus. He was not super impressed, but
If
that's okay.
I could choose between one of these options, I'm going to go with this one.
With this one.
Yeah.
And that would be master class. I have found myself interested in going back to school, like kind of in the right way. And master class offers classes on a wide variety of topics, all taught by world-class instructors at the top of their field and accessible on your phone, web, or smart TV. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long.
I'm going to need you to pronounce this one more time.
Pronounce what?
Master.
Master class?
I like it. Master class.
Master class?
Master class. Not master class. Master class. Like I've read it in,
Master class.
like I've opened this app up 1,000 times.
Master class.
No. This,
Class.
no. This is just my way. You do it your way.
Master
No.
class?
Yeah, it's like a question
Master
almost with you.
class.
Yeah. So like I opened up the master class app, or
Master
I've given,
class.
like I've given my mother master class for Christmas.
Master class.
And you do master class.
Master class.
It's like someone's name is class. I'm sorry. Back on. So with Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, and most importantly, at your own pace. You can learn how to write a song from John Legend, improve your cooking skills from Gordon Ramsay, or learn the art of negotiation, one of my personal favorites, from FBI negotiator himself. A former FBI negotiator, Lauren. That's the one that actually brought me onto the masterclass.
Do you know that I'm a former FBI investigator?
Moving on. With over 180 classes from a range of world-class instructors, the thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think.
So I recently watched Kris Jenner teach the power of personal branding. And let me tell you, it was eye-opening. She is the queen of building empires.
I would actually be interested in hearing Kris Jenner do a masterclass on all topics.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Not only because I love the queen herself, but getting to hear her talk about everything she knows about branding was so interesting. There are so many different classes to choose from and 11 different categories. You are bound to find something that piques your interest as well.
I highly recommend you check it out. This holiday, give one annual membership and get one free. Go to masterclass.com/wild today. That's masterclass.com/wild. Terms apply. Okay, so you had LAN parties and you did this instead of prom?
Yeah, I did go to one prom, but this was like my junior prom. Like that's what we decided to do.
Okay, so what does the LAN party entail?
So people play video games. Now, obviously we do that now on
Right.
Xbox or on the internet, but like the internet wasn't good enough. So we would have to play locally, all of the computers network together. And I remember I was obviously a Mac user, so I would get shunned. So I would always—
What?
You,
Oh, 'cause it
you
was-
couldn't game on a Mac back in the day at all.
Barely do it now, but yes.
Well, we don't have to go there. Sensitive subject.
Listen, you will not find a Windows device in this house, okay? You won't find one. But if I was going to be gaming, it would not be.
I mean, I have a lot of Windows devices, so I know crazy.
So, but I feel like I'm trying to think when I went from only Windows computers to only Mac computers. I probably would have been like I think I think it was high school.
So it's kind of like a really incredible mix because my dad is super technical because
Okay.
he like worked in the mine, does all kinds of electricity, does all sort of like electrical work. And like he basically like him and my mom built their house from the ground up. He did all of the wiring, everything.
Really?
He can fix anything. He has trail cameras to see the deer that like uses infrared if the
Oh yeah.
yeah
Like I haven't met your dad,
Yes.
but I know your dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah. I've had dinner with many of your dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, I get that. And then my mom, because she was a teacher, she was always very active and obviously like in gym classes and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I would go and, just go to school and have fun. But because teachers back then, they were the only ones that really had access to Apple computers. So I've been basically an Apple
Yep.
from birth.
That's interesting you say that. I would have never thought to myself or realized when I was a kid, elementary school, high school, the Mac cart.
Yes.
Like that was
Yeah.
my only exposure to Mac computers, which is the same sound. But I didn't realize that I was using Mac at school before I used it at home. Because
Yeah.
now I feel like every school computer I've ever seen is Windows. Why? Do you know that? Like what the shift
I
was
mean, I
there?
think it was just like also cheaper.
It
So
was.
and it's easier to network and things like that. Where
Got
it's
it.
just like, I mean, obviously I'm a huge Apple fan, but like we, even in school, which was great because back then it was like me and then some of my other nerd friends would be like, we know where to hide Unreal Tournament on the server and no one else can find it. So it's
I
like,
can only imagine you'd be like, I'm gonna hide it there. And also like, can you imagine how like primitive the IT person I'm sure at a high school was when we were there versus what they are now, but also just like the amount of chaos that could have been caused if we just knew what to do.
there was a lot of chaos because there were like some pretty techie people like in my class.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there was more.
So we called ourselves the Leak Crew.
We're gonna start right
we
there.
had IRC channels. Like, yeah. I mean, I remember my friends were talking about Bitcoin back in the day and still to this day, I mean, they made mining rigs. Like
Really?
it was wild.
Okay, and so like, okay, this is interesting because there's more, I think, camaraderie there than I guess I assumed. So like, what was it? All girls, all guys, mixture?
I mean, it was obviously mostly guys.
Okay,
But yeah, there was one girl and like we even had like a little notebook that we kept. Rachel, love her. Oh my God, so funny.
Shout
And
out
I'm
Rachel.
like, yeah, we like made this our own language and like we were like writing in this notebook and like we were the only ones that could really decipher it.
You're basically just like encrypting
Yeah.
your gossip to each
Yeah,
other.
it was great.
And did you just come up with this idea? Like, how did you?
I have no idea.
Got it.
I have such a bad memory, but I do
Same.
remember this notebook. But I remember just like we would write in all these like different characters, and we had like it memorized. Like we could literally read this
You
like
made
it
up
was
your
English.
language.
Yeah,
For no other purpose besides just like, I want to be able to write things in plain view that nobody else can read.
yeah.
Amazing.
But yeah, she would also play video games and come to the LAN parties. So it was just like we had like this really cool core group
Yeah.
of just gamers. And it was like the first time that I ever realized that people would go and play video games somewhere
Okay.
for like a tournament. So this was like
Oh,
esports.
right.
Yeah, so they had Counter-Strike tournaments.
Yep.
And so one of my friends would go to these tournaments and that was like my first introduction to esports. Still,
Interesting.
in like the 90s.
So do you remember a time when like what was the first game you became obsessed with?
Wow. I mean, I was playing regular Nintendo. So obviously all the Mario games. But then what I think had the biggest impact on me was Mario, Nintendo 64. And
Still one of the best as far as I'm concerned, we peaked.
yeah.
And I know that's an unfair thing to say, but like I look back and when you play it today, it stands the test of time.
Yeah, but still, it's just like that was the first time that you had like this 3D environment in
Yeah.
the world that you could walk around. And then 007 obviously was like where I was like, man, first person shooters, that's my thing. So
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and then also Mortal Kombat 2, my favorite.
Not one.
No, 2.
Got
My
it.
favorite. And in the arcade version.
And so, I mean, I'm going to speculate a little bit here, but did your parents know that you were playing shooting games?
I think so. I mean,
What's funny is,
well, I grew up in Pennsylvania, so like,
Oh!
well, we weren't. I mean, they shoot deer, not
why
people.
isn't she shooting anything in real life? Yeah, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. Because I feel like I grew up in the era of like before Harry Potter and certain games were banned from schools. And then it was like, oh, they let you do that and talk about that at school? Yeah. And then so I feel like I was in the pre-ban era, and I feel like you were for the most part as
Yeah,
well.
because I
Got it.
don't think they really knew, but
Right.
yet, I mean, my dad would see what I was doing
Right.
and like it seemed harmless. And also I feel like back then, like everything wasn't as realistic as it is
Right.
now.
Yeah.
So it was still like pixelated and cartoony and kind of felt like a movie or something that wasn't real. But I mean, now, playing Grand Theft Auto, I was like, I'm running people over on 3rd Street Promenade. Like if I was not well, I
Yeah.
understand that there is that disconnect where you sometimes will be like, is this real life? I don't know.
That's interesting. So like your parents were obviously supportive of you doing things that weren't the same thing that every other daughter was doing. Do you feel like that was something you realized at the time or something you want to think back and go, oh, wow, they were supportive?
I mean, I definitely realize it now.
Yeah.
But I think back then, I mean, they also made me play sports. So
Okay.
like I had to play sports so I could be on my computer. I had to
Interesting.
get like at least, above a C so I could have my computer.
Yeah.
and so
like, do you think that was the right move?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think there needs to be a mix of things. And I
Yeah.
feel like even now I have to force myself to go and do other things that like I have to go for a run.
Okay, you say that, but then like you're the person who like volunteered to sign up for jujitsu. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling like there's a little bit more of like an interest there just intrinsically than just, I probably should go move and burn a calorie today.
Well, but that's the thing is like I don't like working out. It has to be an activity.
Ooh,
you know?
interesting.
So it's like that's why I like lightsaber. Like that is a really very physical sport because
Right.
you're running around. And,
I can imagine like
Hitting
swinging at
people.
things that you're not actually hitting for the most part too.
well, I'm hitting a training partner.
Okay, got it. I guess
Yeah.
that would make it easier because I feel like punching at air is exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then a lot of like the tricks and stuff you do, that's just kind of training on your own.
We're just moving things in and around. We will find videos. Okay, so parents were supportive. Was dad, who was like tinkering with toys, like someone that you would build things with, or would you just be in the same room, or how? Like, what was that like?
I feel like he would probably have to fix all of the things that I'd taken apart in
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's always super supportive and we always had like computers and stuff like that and was always able to fix them. So I definitely got a lot of that from him.
Cool. And so I know you have a podcast with your sister now. How much were you guys alike or different back in the day?
So I'm losing my voice from annoying orange.
Well, I was gonna
Those of
say-
you, I was yelling because my character's passion fruit, so my fruit was yelling. Anyway,
So if she sounds like a chain smoker, it's not exactly because of that. It's because the orange needed to be perfect.
She's a voice actor.
Yes,
Or not the
yes.
orange. The
I'm a passion fruit.
Your passion fruit.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So when the passion fruit's voice is perfect, we know
That's
why.
why.
Yeah.
So I actually have two sisters.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
The second one's not in the same
She is
industry as
not.
you.
I mean,
Jenna, Brienne.
Brienne is the one that lives in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And Jenna lives out here. So we always were more alike. Like when we were
Really?
little, like we would be playing video games together, and then my middle sister would get mad because we'd be
No,
taking the
the
TV.
middle sister too.
Yeah, yeah.
You literally made like the stereotypical
I
like
know.
the middle. Wow.
Well, she didn't like video games, still doesn't.
There it is. Yeah.
We went back for, I don't know, anytime we go back home for like the holidays, we
Yep.
stay at her house and me and my sister will both bring our Xboxes and then we're playing with like her husband and we're all in like different rooms. So it's
Even her
basically,
husband plays.
yeah, so it's basically like we have a LAN party.
So you're basically making her the middle child one more time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
She's,
also that's kind of cute.
yeah, it's fine. She watches. She's like, why didn't you kill him? I'm like,
You're like, if you want to pick up a controller, 20 years late, but you're welcome. But you're not gonna tell me how I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Like backseat, just like playing the game.
Backseat driving.
Yeah. Okay. So, and how much older are you than the middle one?
there's, I think like 2 years in between each of us.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So like a good gap. Okay, got it. So your baby sister and you were obsessed with games since day
Oh yeah.
one.
I mean, we were all like since childhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like if you have two sisters and I'm going to imagine the town wasn't, like, were you in Pittsburgh or like outside of Pittsburgh?
Oh, outside of Pittsburgh.
So how big?
Like, I don't even think I could see my next door neighbor. Like, we're in the
Oh.
middle of nowhere. Like,
Got it.
cows still graze in
Got
our
it.
yard, and my dad has to like take the tractor and walk them back home. So picture that.
That story of itself, like I now know your father even more. It's like,
Yes.
Lucy got out. I'll be back in 20. Like, got it. Okay. And so did you realize at the time that Pittsburgh, or I should say Pennsylvania, was not going to be your forever home? Or was that like a later on like realization?
I didn't know that there was really a whole world out there, I guess. I mean,
Really?
we would travel a little bit, but usually it was driving on
Yep.
the East Coast, go to Florida, go to Disney and stuff like that. And so it wasn't until maybe like 2006, 2007 when I first like went to San Francisco, which was bringing us back to the air guitar.
Wait, was that Macworld that I found?
It was Macworld.
Yeah, and it was
Yes.
the first iPhone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you
Full
say
circle.
How do you say that you didn't really know there's a world out there and then go to like what is potentially one of the biggest tech events in the history of history?
I know, right?
Like what was that gap?
Well, because I started making content online, like on MySpace. Actually, this is a fun story.
Okay.
So I was like an original scammer. Like I would make people sign up for like this free iPod website.
Oh my God.
And do you know how many free iPods I got? Maybe like 5 or 6. And then I got
Really?
like a little computer. Yeah, my mom was so confused. She's like, how are you getting these things?
So how did you discover like the world of I could scam?
I don't know.
Got it.
I just scam.
Over here. I love that. Okay, so we
But
now
the
have
thing
we have the
was-
title for the video. Good.
It wasn't a scam because like they were actually sending iPods.
Right.
I mean, they were probably selling all of our credit card information,
Of course.
but
Well, not yours. Theirs.
well, I had to enter my credit card at some point.
Oh, to get even into
Yeah.
the thing. Okay, I thought it was thinking it was just other people's
No,
credit
no,
card
no.
information.
What
But
was it
also other
about it that
people's.
was bringing you into like what was it offering?
Free iPods.
But like how?
Sign up for a credit card and have 5 or 6 friends sign up as well.
Would a credit card end
With
up
a credit
coming?
card. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, no, you would give them your credit card information.
there it is.
So, yeah. So then I would like get all these iPods and I would take pictures with them. I'm like, look what I got. You can get it too.
You literally are like the
I know.
the quintessential like now person who's like putting it on Facebook, just like at commenting everybody. If you just do it this one time, or like, thank gosh, Susan helped me set up my portfolio because now I'm rich.
Yeah.
Oh my. So you were basically the in between. You were one of the very first like multi-level marketing online.
Basically, yeah.
But as a solopreneur.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just wanted iPods.
That was the missing link that I was waiting for. I was like, well, how did iJustine go from the girl we haven't seen on the internet, which is very little because most of it is on the internet, to 20 straight years of just like, okay, we've got a full documentation, scamming.
Basically, it started there. But I mean, I was still doing stuff online, social
Yeah.
networking, all of that, even through college, because I did go to school for multimedia. So it was like 3D,
Okay.
web development, which was basically my job.
Where'd you go to school?
PTI. It was
Okay.
like a Pittsburgh Technical Institute. I think it's a college now. It's
Got it.
So I'm like, oh, you guys changed the name on me. I didn't know, but
They didn't call and ask your
they
thoughts
did
on it?
But so we're on a podcast right now, and
True.
there was a thing called PodCamp. I had a podcast in like 2006. It was terrible. I don't want to talk about it. But so okay, hold on.
What
I'll get
was
so
it called?
sidetracked.
What was it called?
And
I don't
can we
remember.
find it?
I think it was called "Mommy Pack My Lunch." Because my mom would always pack my lunch and
That's
it made
adorable.
me happy. I know. So like our little logo, it was me, and my friend Desiree. We had like a little lunch.
Mommy packed my
That's
lunch.
great.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I still have the .com if anybody wants to buy it. It's for sale.
Like, what would you realistically sell that for? Priceless is the answer.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, everything is for sale. There's a price.
Justine,
There's a price. I don't care.
I'm right with you.
I'll probably buy the .io and it'll be fine.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, you're at PodCamp.
PodCamp. Okay, and there's this guy. His name's Alex Lindsay, and he worked at like Industrial Light and Magic, and so he has like this incredible history of just working in film.
Sure.
And he was doing a green screen session, so I'm like, oh, I want to learn how to green screen. So I went to that, and then we ended up talking afterwards. He's originally from Pittsburgh, all of this stuff, and then he was doing a bunch of hosting stuff in Macworld and needed a host. So that was kind of like my first
Right place, right
hosting
time,
gig. Yeah.
but also with this like fiery curiosity.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was great.
And how old were you then?
I 22,
So you're
23,
20s.
like, yeah,
Okay,
like
but
young.
But post college?
Yes, I was out of college.
Okay, got it. And did you finish
Yes.
college?
I did, yeah. It was
What a flex.
it was a 2-year school, and you basically just went the full 2 years. So
Right. I went to a 2-year school, did not finish that one then, and then I went to a 4-year school and didn't finish that one as well.
it's okay.
Well, things worked out.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's been fine.
It's fine.
My mom will probably bring it up 3 times tipsy, like during Christmas, like, when are you going to go back and finish that degree? I go, Mom, I think it's okay. Okay, so you have been podcasting for 15 years, then is what I'm hearing.
Give or take.
So it was you and Joe, and that was it. It was just you. It was like Joe Rogan was doing his podcast. You were doing Mommy Pack My Lunch.
Yeah.
Which we're going to have to find.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared.
Well-
There was this really great website called TalkShoe. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, that older than me.
You could you had a phone number and people could call in, and it was just like a live radio show.
By the way, for like 2000s tech, that's pretty cool.
It was so great. And like you just could go live and do this show, and that would be your podcast, throw it up, it goes with RSS, and you've got your entire show.
Okay, so going back to like live and RSS and everything, I had no idea you did as much live content as you've done.
That has traumatized me for life.
Okay, let's start there.
Yeah.
Go off.
So
Everyone's heard Lauren's stories with this and like how difficult it's been on her mental health to like find that balance of keeping consistent with what she thinks fans expect of her versus like what makes her happy.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
well, this was like 2007
Yeah.
at Macworld. Dude, so much happened at Macworld. That was
Wow.
it was literally a life-changing experience. I saw this guy walking around with a camera on his head.
Okay.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, obviously I need to figure this out. And he's like, oh, I'm live streaming. This is my website, justin.tv. And I
He
was
was like walking around
yeah.
in 07 live streaming?
Yes.
Cool.
So I was like, well, my name's Justine.
Also Justin.tv. I love, yeah.
I go, well, if you ever need a break, because he was basically doing it 24/7 and building a live streaming platform.
Interesting.
So Justin TV,
Yep.
fast forward, spoiler, is what Twitch TV is
Yeah.
today. I was like one of the guest streamers.
Sure.
So one day I went back out to San Francisco when he had to do investor meetings, and I took over the camera for the day. And I mean, that was basically it. I was
Is it
like,
like weird on your head?
Yeah.
Are there pictures of this?
oh yeah.
Let's.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanna
Wait,
see.
also, did I hear that right? This Justin TV became Twitch.
Yes.
Same guy.
Same guy, same company, everything.
I did know
Wow.
that. Yeah.
And it was just wild because in my mind, Justin TV.
Just TV, but like,
Yeah, but if you look up Justin
iJustine.
TV, iJustine, you'll see some really great photos with a camera on my head. But oh god, so many weird videos. I just can't believe it.
Oh my god,
That was it. And that's my friend Desiree, who we started making videos together.
Yo, Justin, are you a vampire? Like you have not aged since 2007.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, I mean, maybe my
Look at
eyebrows
you.
have gotten a little better.
Okay,
I'll
well,
say
everyone-
that.
all right,
I'll say
everyone's-
the eyebrows.
You know, I think that's one thing that like every time I'm like, wow, we did like a few different things. Okay, but everything else is like
Yeah.
astonishing. So that was a camera.
Yeah, so it was connected to a little like Sony laptop.
Okay.
And that had a Sprint EVGO card in it. And that was when you could have unlimited data. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure Justin TV was the reason for the downfall of the unlimited
it.
data. Like they're able to just like, sit on my little computer. So
Wow.
then when they opened it up to have other streamers, I then streamed for about 6 months
Okay.
straight, 24/7. Like 24/7. Like you want to talk about messing with
Wait,
your mind.
wait,
I
hold
thought
on.
people were watching
And when
me.
you say 24/7, you mean 24/7.
Yeah, I had it set up to watch me sleep.
Justine.
Not in the shower though. Like
Right,
I
right.
didn't know bathroom shower and
Got it.
like
Safe
that.
for work.
But
Right.
like, could they comment and like give you a noise when you were sleeping like they do now on Twitch?
No.
That's good.
Oh, so it was
No.
like 1 to many.
Yeah.
So you had no idea whether it was one person watching or a million.
No, I know how many people. There's usually like a couple thousand.
Oh, but you could see it.
Yeah, I could see
Okay,
it.
got it.
And I
All
could
right.
see the chat.
So
Oh,
from the outside perspective, I can't decide if I think it would be more difficult on your mental health when things were really popping or when things were dead. Because I can imagine there's this like influx of like, oh, I do this, more people begin to watch. Or, oh, when I
Yeah.
don't do this.
Even if I wasn't doing anything, like they had started forming their own community. And I think that's the first time that I really realized that sometimes it's not about what's happening. It's just about like curating
Yeah.
people
Oh, interesting.
and hanging out. Like people were making friends and they started
Yeah.
their own sort of like chats. They weren't even talking about me anymore. They were
Right.
just chatting about their day or their struggles. And it was just really kind of cool to
Whoa.
see.
So you're like a virtual mall almost.
Kind
Like,
of, yeah.
Even if you're not going to go to the shop there, people would meet up there and then they'd figure out what to do once they got there.
Yeah. It's
Whoa.
crazy. But like I would just sleep with music on and they would listen to whatever I was listening to. And
So you basically were also like a radio broadcast host?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, at the time, no one was getting strikes for,
right. It's
playing
different.
copyrighted
Yeah.
music back then. But yeah, it was really crazy. And I would just take it everywhere. And I was still doing graphic design and stuff at the time. So I would take it to a coffee shop. I would work for several hours on like my actual computer and the other computer would be there with the chat and I would just be chatting
And were you the only person doing this?
at the time. And then more and more people kind of slowly trickled in
Sure.
because it was still super early.
Yeah. Okay. So socially, what did you do when you wanted to go hang out with somebody?
Well,
They
hung
came
out
along.
With, yeah, they hung out with me and all my friends.
Okay. So what's funny is I was like talking to Lauren about this and I was like trying to like walk through like my thoughts on this. And my first thought was like, wow, she's done a great job of not doing anything too crazy for 20 years to the point where she wants to quit. And then I hear things like this and I'm like, well, I can't imagine what that would have been like to go from everyone sees everything to they don't.
Well, yeah, but even when the camera was off and after I was done doing that, I felt like I was still being watched.
What do you mean?
Like, I just thought people were watching me all the time.
Really?
Because you became so paranoid. Like I wouldn't even wear tank tops anymore because everyone would be like, nip slip. And I'm like, I have a sweatshirt on.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't want to ever have any of those types of
Yeah.
incidents. So it's like, I was so cautious about what I was wearing, what I was doing that it just made you so, like it really did make you crazy.
It reminds me of like my really, really conservative friends' parents who were like, God is always watching. Everything you do,
Yeah.
if you do anything wrong, he will see it is wrong. And like a lot of them just like couldn't figure out like how to find that balance of like, okay, well, I should just be a good person to be a good person. Or like things do happen sometimes and that's okay. I can't imagine doing that to yourself, but then not feeling like you like took that cloak off.
It was really crazy. And then even years after that, like I couldn't even go live because I was just
Yeah.
like this weird like panic. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay, so you went from the girl who makes more content than anybody without any edits to the girl who always edits.
Yeah.
How? Like it's just a game of like 180 in black and white. And what I mean by that, so for anyone who doesn't make content for a living, which is most people in the world, I feel like Lauren has had an editor do the majority of her stuff since the day I met her. And she always talks about the day that she stopped editing as if it was like the day that like Moose was born.
The chains came off.
Right. Like she really like talks about that way. And like, it's funny that you seem to be on the complete opposite side of that spectrum.
I mean, I definitely do have people to help edit now, but I still like, I can't give it all up.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like a tinge of perfectionism?
Maybe, or I'm just like, well, I'll just shoot this and edit it right now.
So do you get joy from editing?
Yeah, I still love it.
Okay,
I
so
really
that's-
love the storytelling process.
Ooh.
Where it's like, you give me a bunch of crap footage.
Yep.
That's why I loved vlogging so much.
Okay.
Because you can just film a bunch of dumb, random things that you've done all day and like, oh, I can color grade this. I can add music. I can add graphics to
Yeah.
make this story out of nothing. And that is so fun. And I think that's such an art form to be able to find an editor that can do that or replicate it. I mean,
Yeah.
I know they're out there.
So like that
Final Cut editors, hi, you just send me an email. It's great.
What if someone's really good at Premiere?
We can talk about switching you over.
Literally, I was like, Justine, don't lie to them. Don't lie to them. The amount of like content I've seen where like the only time I've seen Justine, like I feel like legitimately take a stance and be like, well, you're just incorrect about life is over Final Cut. Of all things. Yeah, no, they're like passionate would be like the worst version to even describe it. Do you like have a deal with Final Cut? Is there some commercial reason?
No, I mean, it's so much like easier to just bring in a bunch of footage. Like it just works. And now it does. We did go through a little phase after.
Do you hear that? She's like referencing like her relationship with Final Cut. I love this.
I know.
Okay, so you and Final.
We and Final, FCP. Yeah.
Got it. So you guys had like some.
We did. Well, because like back in the day, once they switched over to
I love it.
to Final Cut 10.
Okay.
And then that's when they basically like redid everything to make it kind of more look like iMovie.
Yeah.
And that's when a lot of people dropped off. Now, I mean, I originally learned on Premiere and then I somehow took a job and said I knew how to edit Avid. I didn't know how to edit Avid. Spoiler alert.
Okay, but that's the bit that everyone needs to hear. We all lie a little bit on our resumes. We all move some things around. You're going to figure it out.
But in my mind, I was like, well, I'm really good at doing Premiere and like everything else. And I was like, yeah, it's got to be the same.
It's not.
No, it's not.
No. In fact, Avid might be like the most difficult of the ones that you could have been like, oh, I know how to do that.
Yeah. And then I get there. And
What was the job for?
It was a chiropractor.
What?
Yeah.
Why did the chiropractor need Avid?
A film grade editing system.
Not just one system. He had 2 Avid systems. And so thankfully the other editor that was there, I was like, I really thought I knew how to do this. I was like, can you walk me through?
What did they think they needed Avid for?
So they did like, I don't even know. This whole thing is really crazy. Like, I think this is a whole scam. Like,
okay. No, this is a theme. Yeah.
Just this company. They made this thing called, I don't even know if I should say it. Like,
Okay, we'll leave it out.
Well, yeah, this adjustment machine. So they sold this adjustment machine.
A proprietary thing.
So they sold this to a bunch of doctors, but with the sale of the machine, we would film you a commercial that you could then run on local
this
TV.
is for sure a scam.
Yeah.
For sure a scam.
But here's the thing. As much of a scam as it is, he went bankrupt, probably is still in jail. I'm not sure.
Allegedly.
I had gotten into a car accident and had terrible migraines and headaches. And this freaking machine actually did work. Like, I didn't have headaches anymore because I got free adjustments when I would go to work.
And is that how you found it? Or
No.
did it was just like, oh, my back kind of hurts. I'll give this thing a try.
No, I mean, I was working at a graphic design shop and the guy came in and was like, hey, do you guys edit video here? I go, no, but I can.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned.
It's weird. He's like, well,
Avid certified.
yeah, he's like, I'll double your salary if you come work with me next week. I go, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Right out of college. Sure, let's go.
Deal.
Yeah.
Deal, love it.
Yeah, nice seeing you suckers. I'm on to my journey now. See ya. Don't text me. Okay, so graphic design, was that your first job out of college?
Yeah, just it was super easy.
Okay, what I need to hear other jobs that Justine has had.
I've only worked in computers. Like I've been making websites since I was like 8.
Okay.
So I've always done tech stuff.
How's your
so,
HTML?
I mean, I can do a little.
People don't understand. MySpace required a little
did.
bit of knowledge.
And some
Just a little bit.
CSS.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got into Flash. So I was like ActionScript coding
Actually,
for a while.
I have a real bone to pick with you because it's very difficult to use Wayback Machine on all of your stuff.
I
because
know.
It's filled with Flash.
I know, because that was that was all I did. I was like,
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah.
So fun.
What's Flash?
Devin?
Yeah, I heard a lot of terms a second ago that went through one ear and out the other.
Steve Jobs killed Flash, basically.
Well, he did a few things well.
Yeah.
And Flash didn't need to exist anymore.
No, but it was so fun. I loved it so much. Like making side-scrolling like video games. Like,
How would you describe what Flash is to the uninitiated?
I'm trying to think of like what.
Every website ever used it.
Yeah.
Every
I mean, it was
website.
basically how you'd make animations. It was just kind of
Yeah.
like a little mini movie inside of.
Like GIF maker?
That was a little more intense than that. I mean,
Yeah.
you could basically, it was like a whole programming language.
It was
that you
heavy.
could- yeah.
It was heavy.
Yeah.
Like when you knew that the website had Flash on it when it would just see the dial.
Loading.
You're like,
Beach ball of death?
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But good for the time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
got it. So you were a Flash aficionado, had no business saying you knew how to use Avid. But I could also imagine why you would think it's kind of the same.
I thought I could do it.
How did it go?
It was a little rough at first, but
Yeah.
then like I'm seriously like I'm a really fast editor in Final
Okay.
Cut. Like it's crazy. So I picked it up and did what I had to do. And it was so easy what we were doing because it was all templated.
Right.
So I kept saying, why are we doing this?
Right.
So learning Avid actually made me be like, well, I'm going to try Final Cut because I think this would actually be more efficient.
Oh.
So then I taught myself
It was in
Final
response
Cut.
to it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And then that's when I first started actually making YouTube videos because
Okay.
I wanted to learn how to edit, but I didn't have any content. So then I just started doing dumb things in the office. Like
Yep.
my first video is making oatmeal.
Oh,
Yep.
oh,
That
we
was
watched-
in the office.
In fact, the fact that's not over 1 million views, shame on everyone. Go click on that thing right
it's
now.
really, really great content.
Yeah, no, I want to pull that up more
Yeah.
time. Yeah, yeah. I just can't wait to be claimed by your MCN 97 times. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Well, I'm the MCN, so
By the
you're
way,
good.
just so everyone knows, that's such a flex. You can't actually really do that ananymore.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, it's a very old school
Yeah.
thing.
There we go. It's great.
Oh, watch this movie.
Yes. Oh my
Okay.
God, there's my Avid system. Ah!
Oh, wait.
There it is.
Wow.
Yep.
Wait, so what are you? I don't quite understand what the
This was my morning ritual. I'd make oatmeal every morning.
okay.
And so I just
very
filmed
candid.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People love this shot here because I left the spoon in the in the
Oh, everyone can tell you how stupid you are after.
You know,
Yeah.
it's fine. I think I was using
By the way, why didn't you just pull it out with CGI?
not that.
Oh, you left this. Oh
Yeah,
no.
see, yeah.
Oh, just
but I didn't actually. I took it out. This was fake. Yeah, I know.
Please.
It's for the camera.
I think I used some music from Boondock Saints. It was like my favorite movie at the time.
Okay, yeah.
So
Well,
this
you know.
has a copyright strike on it.
Nothing your MCN could do about that.
No, I can't do it.
Okay. So this was actually your first video.
First one ever posted. Yeah, I think that was one of the first things I've ever edited in Final Cut. Actually.
So you had to find content literally so that you could become a better editor.
Yeah.
And then was there a conscious shift to like, oh, actually like the on-camera stuff as well?
I don't think so. There never
Okay.
really was. But then at some point during all of this, I saw there was a Yahoo talent show where I signed up and then I ended up, spoiler, losing. But Tom Green was one of the judges.
Okay.
And like growing up, like Tom Green was like, I know people say like, oh, you're my childhood. Like he was my childhood. And
Okay.
he was one of those people that I always looked up to for like his humor and his comedy. And then there it is. Those are my friends.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we went to New York. That was like the first time I'd really ever been to New York.
Sure.
And like first time really ever on a set. And I think that was one of the things that I was like, there's actually something here.
Sure.
And this was also around the time when like the iPhone bill thing all happened.
Which for everyone who doesn't know, you were shipped the encyclopedia length phone bill. Because back in the day, you used to just line item everything
Yeah.
you did out, which I think you actually still can get,
I think so.
but it doesn't come in a 300-page like binder
3
delivered to your bed.
trees.
Like it probably cost them $6 to send that bill to
Yeah.
you.
And that actually changed the billing procedure for AT&T.
Really?
Yeah, because they're like, we're no longer going to itemize everything, which was kind of wild.
So that video
But-
did.
And the reason that I got so many text messages was because of Twitter. Because at the time in 2006, Twitter was only text message
It was
based.
SMS. That's
Yes.
right.
So that's the reason for like the 180 characters, which you could basically have enough characters for your screen
140,
name.
right?
Yeah.
And then a little bit of metadata.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I
you
totally
would,
forgot about that.
You would text 40404,
Yeah.
your tweet, and then you would subscribe to the people. And then so that everything was a text message. So I had
Oh my
thousands
God.
and thousands of text messages that were actually because of Twitter.
That's so insane to think about now, but
know.
also so cool.
Like no one ever, I mean, you join Twitter now, it's
Do you know what number user you were?
like 6,000 something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I was 103 or 108 on Instagram though, which is
Wow.
so wild.
How did you like know somebody or like what was the
Well, because I was in San Francisco also for a while.
Okay, so
it
what
was
year did you move to
very-
California?
It was around 2007. So
Okay.
I think I went to San Francisco first because I thought I like tech. This
Yep.
is where I should go.
Well,
And-
I think everyone just thinks Well,
Right.
even now, and even like before Silicon Valley on HBO, I feel like people are like obsessed with the new, what they thought it was.
Yeah.
I feel like you did think of San Francisco.
Yeah. So I was like, this is great. And that was the first place that I kind of, went to Macworld.
Okay.
So, I mean, still to this day, like San Francisco has such a special place in my heart.
You can have it.
Yeah, I know. Like now it's rough, but
Yeah.
it's like a lot of my friends were in the tech industry and,
Okay.
startups. And I don't even remember exactly how, but
Wait, so when you moved to San Francisco though, who did you know?
not really anyone.
So, okay. Girl goes from LAN parties to
Yeah.
other side of the nation without knowing anybody.
Yeah.
How did it go?
I guess it was okay. I mean, I had a pillow. I had a pink suitcase with a light that I somehow ended up with from my old job.
Okay.
And I used this light for years until it like started burning. And
like to shoot with?
yes, like this
Really?
was the light that I used for everything. So it's like this light traveled with me in my
Do you still have it?
suitcase. I had to throw it away. It started a fire.
There should be an iJustine like museum at this point because you've done actually a lot of like firsts of things, but fine.
I know
One
it's
little
really
fire.
sad.
The ashes
Yeah.
has its own little case.
Yeah, it's just, this is what like lit my career for the beginning. Okay, so you moved out with a pink suitcase, a light that became yours, and a dream.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, it sounds like you didn't have the dream. You're just
No.
like, I should just go to California.
So I stayed with a acquaintance who said that his friend was moving to San Francisco and had a spare room. So I was like, cool, all right. So I lived with these people I did not know.
What did you tell your parents you were doing?
I don't remember. I don't know. They told me not to go and that I was
I'm
going to
sure.
regret it. And I was
By
like,
the way, they were probably statistically correct
yeah,
for saying exactly what they said.
yeah. No, and I mean, I tried to make it seem like everything was fine because
course.
like,
No, Mom, this happens all the time.
I mean, I walk out because it was close to like Haight-Ashbury. So it's like you would walk outside and you would have to step around like hypodermic needles and just human feces. And it was wild.
So some things haven't changed, but that
Yeah.
part's very similar. Okay.
But like I was loving it.
I mean,
Absolutely loving it.
what was your day-to-day like?
I don't remember.
But that's
I really
amazing
don't
though.
know.
Yeah, but like the amazing that you just felt like, okay, where I am is cool, but it doesn't have the things that I know exist. I don't really even know what they are.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're out there. It's like you like making the trip to Mecca.
I mean, it was crazy. Like I really had nothing. Like I was
Yeah.
sleeping on some mattress. I don't even know where the mattress came from. It was so disgusting. I didn't even have a blanket. So I remember going to Urban Outfitters and like they had this sale and they had like a blanket for like, I don't know, it was like $7 or something. So I basically had like this blanket.
You had your blanket, your lunch
My
pail,
light.
your suitcase, and your light. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And then I just was like kind of hanging out, making videos, like meeting with like companies.
Yeah.
And it was so weird back then too, because I was like, okay, well, I like tech, but I think entertainment tech is more where I should kind of go.
Okay, so I want to actually, tell me more about that because I actually was shocked with how much not tech content you've done and
Yeah.
how actually the reception to it is amazing.
Yeah,
People love that side of you.
Which is crazy. Like people still, they're like, man, why don't you do cooking videos anymore? I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so much cleanup.
By the way, Roseanne, I'm so mad at you for not texting me back before this podcast so that I could have had the tea on. It's fine. I was upset
What
about
you
it.
need to do is ask my sister.
Oh.
She would give you so much tea, you would be drowning.
Don't you worry. Before there's the next time that we can talk about Justine, I will have discussed this with her sister because I'll get all the tea. She'll be like, oh no, that's not how it worked. Every time you're like, I don't really remember, I guarantee your sister would say, I do. This is what happened.
Yep, she'll remember.
Okay. So like, and so that's in San Francisco making lifestyle content. And you say that was a conscious decision at the time? Like, oh, I should do more not tech content or like you just.
I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. I was
Got
just
it.
like posting stuff like that was fun.
That's probably why you have over 2,000 videos.
Yeah.
uploaded. Okay.
And, I was just kind of creating just because like I loved to make people laugh. And
Sure.
like where I grew up, I mean, it was such a small town too. So I was kind of sharing stuff for my family.
Yeah.
Like, look, this is my adventure.
Which is normal now, but not normal at the time.
No.
Yeah.
And, I just started also seeing other people that were doing this stuff.
Like who?
Philip DeFranco.
Okay.
Like we actually met, I
Yeah.
think in San Francisco, he was out there once. And just like that old school YouTube mentality is
Yeah.
like, we don't know what we're doing, but we're hanging out. And then when they started the partner program, that's when I actually started making some money. But there was a few websites before that, like Rever, still think they owe me maybe like $25, like
Rever,
not too salty.
get back to it. It's
Yep.
fine.
But that was
You've
like,
had my PayPal.
but like that was one of the first websites that you really were able to start making money on.
I was going to ask, do you remember your first like internet money check?
I mean, I think it was Rever.
Yeah, okay.
Probably. Yeah.
Got it.
And it was just crazy because like that was where a lot of the creators were. The Ask a Ninja guy. Do you remember Ask a Ninja? So he was one of the judges at that Yahoo talent show. And then like Zay Frank. Do you remember Zay Frank?
I do.
Yes. So it was just like a bunch of people like doing just stuff and figuring it out.
This?
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, this is old school.
Actually, what's funny is like just seeing that thumbnail, I imagine the rounded edge monitor that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
In order to like watch this piece of content, like it looks wrong on this TV. I need to have a little more weight to my monitor. Amazing. Okay, so like you were just kind of like trying to get into the middle of where.
I don't know.
Got it.
I basically just knew that this was something.
Sure.
And going to LA was tough.
LA's a lot, isn't it?
Well, yeah. And I mean, I was just like doing this thing that I thought was so cool and that everyone would understand. And no one wanted to talk to me. They made fun of me. They thought this was stupid. They're like, we can't believe you're doing this. Like, I remember a lot of the people who said this. And then I remember some of those people later on. T, hey, you want to do a collab? No, absolutely not. You made fun of me for what I was doing.
But like you said you were taking meetings with businesses in San Francisco. It doesn't sound like that was the case in LA.
No, then I was doing meetings with like TV studios or, agents and stuff like that. And I mean, like some people kind of got it. And I remember, I think Ford was one of the first, Ford and GE were like one of the first like actual brand deals that I got, and Intel. So those were like the first three that like really.
What?
I know. Which was kind of, yeah.
Okay. So when you came to LA, you had no team, I'm sure, right?
No.
And do you know what year you came to LA?
It was probably like 2007, still like 2008, because it was like in that time frame.
So like for ancient history for everybody, UTA of the talent agencies was actually the first like digital department that was established, followed closely by WME.
Yeah.
And people don't realize this and won't probably know his name, but Justine has what I believe to be the best agent in the digital world. And I also think he's like the godfather of talent agencies when it comes to the digital side. Like this man was doing digital when, similar to you, everyone was like, no, we do real talent here. We do movies. We do this. We do that. And I was talking to that like not that long ago about like what that must have been like. It's like, it's as satisfying as it is like almost like people are just finally seeing the same thing I've already seen. Like I've been living in this world where he knew, wait, I can just not have to go through a movie theater to get to people. Well, why wouldn't we want to do that? So like, it's interesting that you two, of course, like I guess hooked up. And at some point in time, were you working with another agent or were you always with Chris?
Yeah. So from Rever, I ended up working with like a manager there that I started working with, and then they were like a team. So I worked with them for a while, which was great because they kind of helped me get started. They let me stay like in their like guest house. So like I had like some accommodations, which was great. So I was super grateful for that. And then
still could use that $25 though if you were.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, because like obviously I was like I had no money, but I was spending money on like Starbucks. Like that, I was like I will have Starbucks instead of like paying my bills, which is not ideal.
Listen, you were interested in tech. You weren't a finance aficionado.
No.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, actually UTA was the first agency that I went to, and then WME. But
well, I don't think, did WME have a digital department when they started?
I don't think so.
I don't believe they did either.
No.
I think they started with them.
But it's like even, doing a lot of these things, it's like you still have to hustle and be out there and, respond to emails, which I'm so bad at.
Agents, people have this like misnomer, like if I can just get out to LA and somebody can give me the signal that I'm ready to be like where I'm supposed to be, no one is going to unlock you but you.
100%.
Nobody. And I would love for you, I know it's probably boring to you, but like what was going through your mind when you got the signal of like, oh, I have an agent now, but it wasn't like everything's just taken care of. Like, did you know how to process that?
No, and I don't really remember because nothing really changed, I feel like. I mean, there's obviously like they're able to help open doors and do those things and kind of manage your day to day. But like a lot of the emails and stuff and content that I have now, like it's still will maybe come to my email and then I forward it on. And
you had an email. No other probably actor or like director had a website to like, oh, just like send me an email.
I'm like, you can email me or you can find me on Twitter or MySpace. Like that's great. And then I've been with the same manager for over, my gosh, like 11, 12, I don't even know. I've lost track.
Which in Hollywood is
a long time.
9 lifetimes.
Because he was at the Collective, if you remember the Collective.
Which Studio 71 is now.
So So then he came from there. And then when he went off and started his own thing, then I just like, I was like, this is the longest relationship we've both had.
But also like everything was new then. Like everyone was new. Everyone. Like, and what's interesting is it used to be like the idea of like being in the digital side of the business side was like, oh, you couldn't make it in real talent. You couldn't like, oh, you weren't able to get on the desk of somebody like to make a name for yourself. And now everybody wants to have at least a little bit of a foothold into digital, if not moving more into it.
Which is so crazy because that shift has just happened because it's like even now, like if you're posting content on TikTok that's too high quality, They're like, oh, not relatable.
Not
I'm
interesting.
like, but I've worked all my life to get all these 4K cameras. Please let me post good content.
What am I going to do with this red camera then? Compress the hell out of it.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna put my iPhone up and we're gonna film it like that.
It's okay. It's right.
Yeah.
Like we know it's of high quality. Yeah. Like she's like putting like a distress filter on everything. Like, can you just like make it look more bad? Okay. So the Ford, the massive deals, whatever. Did you find those? Did they find you? Like,
My gosh, I don't even remember how those all kind of came about because I think it was just like emailing me.
Sure.
And then I didn't have a lawyer or anything at the time. So like I'm just so grateful that I had so many friends like in the tech world that I was able to be like, hey, can you check this out? Can you help? So I had, I thankfully was able to ask for the help that I needed. But it's one of those things where you have to be able to do everything now.
Yeah.
I mean, even if like everything goes away, like I still know how to use a computer. I can edit a video. I can still get a message out. Like I think just being able to know the bare minimum of being able to do your job is so important.
Interesting. Okay. So from that, do you feel like there was like, do you think that's your dad just tinkering with things or your mom just like enabling, just like, oh, we're just going to do things, whether we've done them or not, we'll just figure it out. Like, do you feel like you saw that just that was natural to you? Or was there like some like active change? Did you go to some self-help ceremony somewhere where they're like, okay, but if you just do it yourself, like how could that have possibly just been like a natural thing that you just picked up or?
I don't know. I think because I'm like a really big introvert that I would rather just sit in my house by myself.
Interesting.
And do it myself and not have to deal with anyone.
But you say that, but like as an introvert, you're connecting with everybody still.
I know it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of creators, like that's sort of their mentality. And that's why we all started doing this because we're talking to a camera. That's not a person.
Yeah.
So I can talk to that all day long and tell you my feelings, but I'm like, hi, you face to face. I'm like, I can't talk like this.
Which is so funny hearing this, having seen the incredible interviews you've given with Tim Cook,
I got my
Ryan
list here.
Reynolds, Ariana Grande.
So Tim Cook, Jeff Bezos, Ryan Reynolds, Ariana Grande, voice of Siri. Didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
Richard
Susan Bennett.
Branson.
Creator of Mario.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's great.
You literally were you bring that one up. The fact that you agreed to do an interview with someone who does not speak English and is also a legend, you can't be that much of an introvert.
I know.
I don't know.
Or maybe your curiosity outweighs your introvertedness.
I really don't know. But that's also a thing is like, because I'm also getting the content, like I can edit it. So I feel like I have control over like the final piece.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I would rather sit at home and do nothing and just like
You say nothing, but like, I'd rather sit at home and do nothing by like,
building an empire.
right.
Yeah.
And like the Reddit instructions left off here, but there's like 3 more steps I can think of. I'll just break it until like it fixes and works. And I will say like, I do relate to the whole idea of just like taking things apart just to see them be taken apart and then trying to put them back together.
Yeah.
Failing, but trying.
Well, I think also the trauma of working that, I would say 9 to 5, but it was more like 6 a.m. until midnight because that corporate job that I worked was the worst.
Sure.
So I basically have been working my entire life to not have to work that way.
Right.
So, having like my own studio, having my own schedule, not having too many employees that I have to take care of, like that freedom, like I work so hard to have that.
Ooh.
Where it's like, I want to have a whole team. I want to have a studio so that they can do things. But then if I decide that I want to go do something for a week, like I can go do it and just take everything with me. And like that for me is, I don't know, that makes me so happy.
So like when you say team, what has it been and what is it now?
I mean, I guess I have like my manager and like they obviously have people that work with them and then my agent and then lawyer. So it's really kind of more business side.
Sure.
And then, I obviously work with various shooters and then various editors as well. But and then my sister.
But like the same people or new people every time or?
It cycles through. I mean, there's like some consistent people that I've been working with. One guy, I actually met him on the street when I was making a Taylor Swift music video parody.
Okay. Uh-huh. I'm glad you brought up the parody thing. I almost forgot.
Yeah, it sucks.
So you just met him on the street?
Met him on the street, lost his business card, and I was so upset because I was like, oh man, he said he had a red camera or he knows how to use a red or whatever. I don't even remember when this was, but then we ended up shooting a series together for AOL, like 2 seasons. And then he went off to work on like shooting Avatar, but I was like so lucky to be able to like shoot with him. But I was like, met him on the street.
You met a guy that did production on Avatar in the street.
Well, not then. This was back when I was doing music video parodies.
But it's even cooler that you're like, you met somebody who was literally on the street, was like, oh, I do this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's a theme here, Justine. You kind of are like in the room with people who are very cool, but were not cool at the time, but you thought they were cool before everybody else did.
Maybe, I don't
Also,
know.
your entire career actually was seeing things that were cool before everybody else did.
Steve Jobs in the cafe.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I know. He saw me and I think he knew it was me and then he ran away, which is fine because like I kind of had the iJustine character of like, you know, being obsessed with Steve Jobs, but like, I mean, it was just funny to me.
Okay, let's take it.
But now listen, we flip that around. If I saw those types of videos, I'd be like, yeah, I'm running away too.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Steve for a second. And I think it was on Phil's podcast that I heard you talk about Steve Jobs in a way where it was like you looked up to him and looking up to him, and you said something really like impactful in the sense of like you really only had a bunch of like dudes to look up to that were doing the thing that you were doing.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a you. Mm-hmm. Do you realize that at the time, or is that something you look back on as like it's a lot clearer?
I mean, I had definitely a tough time like as a child because I didn't feel like I fitted anywhere.
Right.
And like my parents were always super supportive, trying to get me into things that I liked, but still just like at school, like, you know, now I feel like there's so much more attention being brought to mental health and how people learn and ADHD and those things.
Yeah.
Like back then, they're just like, here's some drugs, take that. And my mom was like, I'm not going to do that to my child. So it's like the way that my mind works, like I did not function well in school settings.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us are dealing with that. And now I feel like there's ways that people in schools are able to accommodate that, which I could not. So I definitely struggled a lot in school. But
Were you like a terrible student?
I mean, I don't know. It's just, I just knew what I wanted to do.
Like terrible, like academic, like tests and homework and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was not great.
I just didn't do homework.
Yeah. I mean, I would just do it because my mom would take the computer away from me. So I just had to get good enough grades to survive.
So you can go back to your computer.
And I knew what I liked. Like I loved, like I was coding in middle school. And like that was like what I loved to do. And I just wanted to do that. So it's like that hyper focus, I think, is what has kind of kept me, you know, loving editing and creating because that's what I love to do. But I guess when I first read a book by Steve Jobs or it was about him, I think it was Becoming Steve Jobs or something like that. This was in, I don't even remember. It might have been middle school, high school. I don't know.
You were the only middle schooler, I assure you, in the state of Pennsylvania, reading Becoming Steve Jobs.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this book and just the thought process of think different.
Yeah.
Like that resonated so much with me because I was like, that's me. Like I'm thinking differently. And so just my entire childhood, like I just kind of gravitated towards Apple computers and creating because that let me express myself. Like I was able to take that computer and take what was in my mind that didn't make sense and make something and print it out.
Right.
And like it would be there. It was tangible. It was physical, but it was also digital. And it was just, I don't know. I think that was like the first time that I really kind of felt like somebody understands me.
Yeah.
It was Steve.
Interesting. So like, I know you didn't get to have your moment with Steve, but you did have a moment with Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Which was
gosh.
hilarious.
What? So I just thought that like, you know, I'm in Hollywood now. I need to have like a question that I ask celebrities when I run into them on the street.
And you could have picked any sentence, any question, anything in the world. And well, I'll let you ask the question.
I was asking people what their favorite treat was. And Jeff Bezos likes banana pudding.
Banana pudding.
Yeah. Bread pudding.
Whichever one it is, yeah. And I got to be honest, I heard that and I go, yeah, that tracks.
Yep.
And so-
Checks out.
What you? Oh my gosh.
This was South by Southwest. This was in Austin. I saw him in.
So he was just walking around by himself.
He was in a
South by-
convention center.
Just walking around.
Yeah.
Was he with a team of people?
No, he's got his little badge on. He was probably going to go speak somewhere.
Like,
Yeah.
I love that so much.
This same week, I tried to ask Mark Zuckerberg what his favorite treat was. He shut me down.
What did you say? Nothing.
No, he was like, please. I don't remember what he said, but he was just basically like, please don't film me. And I was like, okay, bye. Ran away. Haven't seen him since.
Never. No paths.
No, I think
across?
maybe he remembers. I'll never forget. I felt so bad.
Well,
because like that to me is like when you're filming people
Yeah.
and when you're doing live streams, like you're liable for what's happening around you. And like, I don't want to ever put somebody on camera who doesn't want to be on camera.
Totally.
So
And that's
I was
actually
like,
why we called you in today. Mark, come on out. Let's talk about
Mark,
it.
hello, welcome. So it was just a crazy kind of like, it was weird. Because I was like, oh, okay, you don't want to be in. Okay, that's fine. Bye.
So, all right. So in a world where you had an elevator ride with Mark Zuckerberg today, would you ask him a question or would you just sit
I
there?
think I would have to ask him the question.
Got it. So you wouldn't just sit there and apologize for potentially
I mean, he
filming him
doesn't
15 years
remember
ago?
that. There's absolutely no way.
Well, I talked to him today. He actually does. Like he's looking for that apology. I'm actually shocked your paths have not crossed at this
I
point.
know. I
Yeah.
mean, I think maybe it's because he remembers. Maybe he does.
I think you make a full like video about it. You talk about it, the beginning, middle, after. In fact, Nathan for you would have a full like episode, like leading up to how he's going to get
The
that,
rehearsal?
Like, yeah. He would rehearse the entire thing. I think that's actually like what we should do here.
Maybe he knows that my Facebook profile was signed up with a someone else's email address that went to college because my college didn't have one.
Got
So
it.
my friend that was doing a master's, she gave me her email address. So I'm still
I just scam.
her name.
I just scam.
Look, I know.
That's your alter ego.
I know.
I love that.
I would have been so great in Web3 if I was actually scamming.
You would have been, yeah. I
would have been great.
You missed the boat, I think,
know.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's always time.
No, it's
but
fine.
no, Web 4 will come around. We'll get him then.
Web4.
Okay. So was there anyone who was a woman that you were able to, when you were a kid, relate to that you hadn't met that was like aspirational?
Well, it's just weird because it's like all the people that were doing the stuff that I was into.
Yeah.
Not really.
Right.
So I used to watch Tech TV with like Leo Laporte. Like those
Yeah.
are my heroes. Kevin Rose. Like I was watching them. Chris Pirillo.
Yeah.
I was like watching them with my grandmother.
Sure.
Actually, after school, she would take me home and she would have, I grew up in the middle of nowhere again. So my grandma actually had cable TV. We did not.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big news. So we would watch Tech TV and I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. I want to do that.
That's amazing. But also so interesting that like you were at least cognizant of the fact that like, there's nobody who seems to be a woman doing any of this stuff. But
Yeah.
that's not going to stop me. I'm just going to keep doing it.
Then there was another woman that I saw, Amber Mack. I saw her doing a bunch of like reporting and like tech stuff.
Yeah.
So like she was also someone kind of doing sort of something similar
Okay.
while I was coming up too. So I was like, she was super cool.
Well, like if ask anybody now, hey, is there any women in tech you look up to? It's like you could rattle off
Right.
CEOs of companies, like boards everywhere, people that are making content. But not that long ago, it just like, didn't exist.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was so strange because I also loved video games. So when
Okay.
I started playing video games, no one ever really made a big deal about being a woman or
Sure.
like not having a bunch of women. And I never really even thought about it.
Right.
Which is the weird thing until they're like, oh, you're a girl gamer. I'm like, are you a boy gamer?
Right.
I'm confused.
Right.
Like everyone's just doing their thing. Like we don't have to put a label on it.
No.
And that kind of drives me crazy
Sure.
because it's like, oh, you're a woman in tech. I'm like, I'm in tech.
Well, I would
You
say
know, where's the men in tech?
you're at the top of right. Well, exactly.
I'm sorry.
But it's just so interesting. I feel like it takes a you to not think that there needs to be a label on something. Do it so that there doesn't need to be a label on something. It's like, oh, there's a shining example of how it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's why when they started being like, oh, like be on this women in whatever panel. And then I was just like, but that's so weird. Like,
Yeah.
can't it just be a panel?
Can I be the panel?
It just,
Yeah.
and not have to say, oh, there's just women on the panel.
Sure.
Be it a thing.
I mean, it's a lot more powerful when the woman is in charge of the panel, not just women on that panel. And then there's the other panel, whatever, that like gets their attention as well.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tech is very good at doing that, like creating what they think are solutions for problems that they've created that don't solve anything.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
wild. But I mean, even like the whole Web3 world, I mean, there's so many like women in Web3. And then you better believe I was joining all of those because I'm like, all right.
I saw you at many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just great to kind of support other women. But it's like, I think we all have that same sentiment. It's like, we just want to be.
Yeah.
Just want to be.
I'm going to be at the event.
Yeah.
Not our event.
We don't need labels.
I feel you. Okay. And so I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that you have participated in more trends than I knew were even in existence.
I probably don't even remember.
I won't make you go through all of them, but the idea of being able to like look through here at your YouTube and it's like you can almost just see the internet unfold. Like you're obviously just like captivated by new, fresh things that are like interesting, even just like to other people. Like what's that from? Like, do you feel like there's like a genesis to that?
I think it's just my attention span.
Ooh.
And because I can never stay doing one thing
Yeah.
for long. And that's why like my channel, it's really hard to even say like what it is. I mean, it's predominantly tech, but there was a time, I think this was like 2015-ish. And I was like vlogging every day.
Okay.
And this, if anyone's vlogging every day and you're not miserable and you haven't ruined all your friendships and relationships, I'd love to know how, because that's not possible. It's really not.
Speaking
I
from
mean,
maybe some experience.
Some experience. Like my sister and I, we began to do things just for the vlog.
Sure.
Like we weren't having fun. We were not happy. We were just like, we would make the video and then just be like sad because it's like you were living your life through a camera.
Yep.
I was living my life in post-production, which I actually was weird because I was like, I was having more fun editing than
Yeah.
actually was in the moment doing the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so weird. So I kind of had this shift. And this is sort of around the time where I kind of sort of got into jujitsu as well.
Sure.
That was also another one of my like breaking points. And I was like, okay, what do I like? What do I even like anymore? Who am I?
Sure.
Who are my friends? I literally was losing my mind.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like sat down and was like, okay, here's the things I like. I like food. I like travel. I like my dog, and I like tech. So I just took my entire YouTube channel, stopped vlogging daily, and just started making content like in those 4 pillars. And
Interesting.
that ended up helping my channel so much.
Yeah.
And then so every time I kind of get in that rut again, I kind of go back to be like, what do I actually like now? And when I found jujitsu, that's the first time that I was like, I'm not posting about this at all. I'm not talking about it. I didn't talk about it for 2 years. Like I basically was just,
It was yours.
yeah, this is mine.
The side hobby.
And you love to do it.
Loved it, didn't talk about it. But then I was becoming so in this community that then when I would talk about it with people, I was so left out because they're like,
Sure.
no, you're not. I'm like, I train every day. Like I was training almost every single day, maybe 2 times a day, like morning, afternoon. And
Oh, you love this.
I loved it. Like, you know,
Interesting.
so then I was like, okay, when I get my blue belt, then I'll talk about it. So I know that this is something that I'm very serious about and I'm not quitting. And even though I'm not training as actively right now, like it's a huge passion. Absolutely love it.
Interesting.
So that made me realize I don't have to post everything. Like you can have something for yourself.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you know, Instagram is that stereotypical curated place. And it has become that because, you know, it's like you have to have something for yourself.
So what was the reason you started doing the daily vlogging then?
I think it was just fun.
Sure.
Like just the storytelling.
Oh, so it
and-
was fun in the
It
beginning.
was, yeah, it was definitely fun. But then it was just too much. People knew everything. They thought that they were entitled to dictating who was in your life. I'm like,
Right.
you can't say I can't hang out with this person. That's like my friend.
Yeah.
You know, like it
Yeah.
doesn't work that
because
way.
you took something that person said out of context from 7 other videos from something else and now apply it to me.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Seems
it was tough. And then me and my sister both were just like, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't talked on one of the biggest topics yet. Your dog.
Maddie. He's beautiful.
How's the journey to becoming a DJ?
So, okay. I was real into EDM when I got the dog, obviously. You can see.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So I thought that I'm going to make this dog a DJ. This is,
Which I love.
yeah, and he can do it. Like he does it fine. He even he has a song.
Oh?
Yeah, I sang on it. Never released it.
Oh, it's in the vault.
It's in the vault.
So that one website and that vault, that would be like if there was like a museum of iJustine currently,
the
those are
song.
the ones that like you want to come on in. Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, we went to studio. Like I had a songwriter. Like we produced this thing. Maddie came in, took a huge dump in the sound
Studio.
booth, which I don't actually think it was my dog. I think it was the girls. There was another dog there. I was like, that was big. That's not my dog. It's not mine.
There are multiple dogs.
Yeah.
Like whose shit is in the middle of this music studio? I can just imagine how thrilled the operators were.
I swear it wasn't me and I swear it wasn't my dog. That's not what his poo looks like. So we found out that Maddie, dear Matthew, didn't really like children. So I was like, I can't take this dog on tour.
Oh no.
He's going to meet kids and bite them. And then he's going to get taken away from me.
Yeah, you're gonna just have a big liability on your
Yeah.
heads. Yeah,
So-
and a record label's gonna be mad that Maddie can't be on the road.
I know. I mean, I bought the whole DJ set. Like I had the whole entire setup, like a Pioneer.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It was top of the line. I had everything.
People don't realize ADD shopping, and I know this because it's me. When you decide you're going to do a thing, you go from not having any of that thing to what's the nicest version that I could possibly have of this thing, and when can I get it, and can it be faster?
Yeah,
At least that's the way my brain works.
100%.
Okay, so DJ has been one of those. Is there any other notable you dove face first just to never actually do it ever again?
No, but I did get into like music producing. I was like, oh, this might be fun. But I was like, Ableton is too small on my laptop. I couldn't see it. I'm like, I'm zooming in. I don't know.
And then like she got like distracted by one other thing, and like the side mission begins,
Yeah.
and then that side
Yeah.
mission becomes the new mission.
Oh no, I played guitar when I was younger. I was in a band, heavy metal. We played like Slayer covers.
Wow.
I was real bad at it though.
That's-
I wasn't
that's
great.
okay.
Yeah. I think they gave me the bass once and was like, here, I did play this instead.
There's one less string. You can use this one.
You can do this.
So like, is there anything you've tried to do that like you just were obsessed with and just couldn't figure it out?
I don't know. I'm not
'Cause
sure.
you seem like someone who like gets to at least a place where like, okay, I'm happy with this.
Yeah, so I'm that kind of person that will run a race and I'll get to almost to the finish line and be like, I'm done. I'm gonna go over here now.
'Cause you've
I won't
accomplished
finish
it for you.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm done. I've almost made it.
Is that you with puzzles?
I
start a
don't
puzzle, you
like
can't finish it?
puzzles. Yeah, I can't ever finish it. Like I'm just like, okay, I gotta go somewhere else.
But I almost think that's like why you always go into things with such excitement, because you don't feel like you have to like pick things up again. It
Yeah.
just like keeps going.
And that's why tech is so exciting. It's
Yeah,
almost
interesting.
always something new.
Right.
And I mean, it does get a little redundant with like, here's another phone with a little bit faster of a chip and the camera's a little bit better.
Do you love explaining to people why things cost more money year over year?
I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure. I'm like, that's inflation.
Well, okay. I think it's a little bit unfair because oftentimes I'm like, well, it is actually quite more impressive. It's just not in any physical way
Yeah.
that you can see. Yeah, but like it lasts longer and it's faster.
Yeah. It's a little faster, a little bit better.
How do you
know?
balance actually critiquing the brands that would have otherwise been a good brand deal for you?
I mean, I usually have pretty positive things to say. And if it's negative, I mean, like, I think GoPro hates me. So I'm sorry, GoPro.
you're
When
not.
their drone, no, I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I can tell.
When their drone first came out, it crashed in the side of my house. Like, it just crashed. Like, it took off, then flipped sideways. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's user error. Did it come?
Or just 3 more.
Yeah. Let me see if this works. Then I took it out. It was absolutely just such a disaster. And this was around the time that the first Mavic was coming out
Yep.
for DJI. So having both of those side by side, I was like, this is trash. So I made a video about it. And wow. Yeah.
Did they reach out?
I don't remember.
Not that I saw or cared.
Yeah, maybe. I think they wanted the drone back, but
Right.
I kept it.
That's hilarious.
It's a relic that'll be in the
We'll have
museum.
our GoPro back if you're going to talk shit. Like, no, I'll keep this thing. That sucks. Okay.
But I mean, the GoPros, honestly, they are pretty great, like
I mean,
considering. But
yeah.
like the drone, that was like one of the first things that I really was like, this is a mistake.
Have you ever been really hard on a product or service or brand that you later actually regretted?
Not really.
Have you ever been too nice to one?
The Facebook portal.
Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
I actually really like the Facebook portal. Did you ever use it?
There's the one person.
Yeah.
I know.
I actually, what's funny is a buddy of mine worked at Meta, Facebook at the
Yeah.
time, and had the portal, and they made them use it for their like work stuff. It's actually really
It
great.
was really cool.
Yeah.
I made a video about that. Everyone hated it. It was my most disliked video, and it basically hurt my channel for 6 months because
Really?
of the dislike ratio.
So like you did all that just to get back on Mark Zuckerberg's good list.
I
He
know.
didn't even reach out to you.
No, he didn't.
Terrible.
No, but yeah, I actually really like the portal. I mean, it was part of Facebook. Do you want to hear? You want something? You want to see a funny video?
Uh-huh.
No, okay.
Do I do this?
It's too late now. We have to. We can cut out of the show if you don't like it.
Okay, so
But I want to see it.
I never met Mark, but his sister Randy,
Uh-huh.
on the other hand,
Yeah.
we made a music video parody together.
Put it up.
What?
Was this the Web3 one?
No, this is, oh my God, this is Web 1 still. We're in like Web 1.5.
That's hilarious, by the way, that
Yeah,
you know his sister.
Randy Zuckerberg. Yeah, she's great. I actually really like her a lot.
Which one is it?
It's none of those. Yeah, just type Randy
Running
Zuckerberg.
from the
yeah.
cops? Well, that's a gem I'd like
Who
to get back
knows?
into. Yeah.
Who knows? Oh gosh, I don't even think it's going to show up because it's so old.
Type in, was it music, right?
Oh God, I don't remember what the song was. It's probably hidden somewhere.
Oh no, that is.
Yeah, it was like a
Randy Zuckerberg.
Christmas song. Maybe type in Christmas.
There's a lot
And
more
parody?
music content out there with you than I would have ever anticipated.
You know, okay, that's not it. That's not it. Oh God. I used to make Christmas parody. Oh geez, what is all
Wow.
of this? What is, oh God. Forget we ever said anything about it's out there
By the way,
somewhere.
I love
I'll
just
send-
seeing the thumbnail like evolution from
Mm-hmm.
over the past 15 years.
You know, you go with the
Oh my God,
times.
yeah.
Oh
That's
my God,
amazing.
The Kesha TikTok parody. Oh geez.
But there's something about like you just continuing to just constantly look ahead and not worry about whatever you just did. That's as intriguing as it is inspiring.
We had so much fun doing the music videos. Like me and my sister would write the lyrics. I'd record it in GarageBand. We'd record it the next day with like a little green screen blanket.
Yeah.
And then I'd edit it the next 2 days and, you know, I'd get that SEO traffic. It's great.
Have you ever like had any formal editing training or just YouTube?
No, because I did go to school for editing. So
Oh, that's right. Okay,
but
yeah.
it was like editing in Premiere and it was weird because we also did like 3D and we did everything. So it was basically everything multimedia related.
Got it. Which is probably like a lot heavier than you needed,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, good information that you probably like. Lauren's degree is in like information, like technology, but it's around printing. So like she could tell you the elasticity of paper and like ink density.
Every Pantone color.
Oh, the Pantone of the year is a
Yeah.
thing that I now know exists because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, not that I would ever imagine that someone with your brain would be able to tell me an answer to the question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What is the next iteration of iJustine in a world that I feel like would be impossible to keep up with tech-wise, but always has something new? Like, is that the path you want to stay on, or is there like other things you haven't done yet?
I think so. It's just weird because I'll just like think of something like, oh, wouldn't that be cool if we did this? And then I feel like you get to a point because you've done so many things and you have so many connections and networks. You're like, well, I know somebody that can do this, and you just kind of figure it out and you go do it. And I think that's what's also kind of a misconception too. It's like somebody that I may have went to high school with may be like, oh, I now run this company that does this thing. And like, oh my God, cool, high five, let's go. And I think that's what's so great is like keeping those connections, and you never know when you could be of help to someone else.
Yeah.
And you never know when they can help you out. And it's kind of just so fun to be able to like go back and like have this full circle moment.
Oh, I'm starting to see more and more just how much the ADHD brain is key. It's like the secret sauce here.
It is, but it's also such a detriment.
Of course. But like with like pros and cons, like I know how it hurts me. How does it hurt you?
You can see my rabbit trail of hobbies that just kind of, you know, trickle, and I never can finish anything.
But you made a career out of that.
That's true. One thing that has actually helped me a lot is TikTok. Like reading other people, or not reading, but like watching other people's ADHD hacks.
Yeah. Oh,
so
okay. Please share.
So this is crazy. This has 100% changed my life.
I can't tell you just how much like I am.
I'm so excited.
This is like my personal For You page right now.
This is two things.
Okay.
So I saw this TikTok that said, if you need to like get some work done at home, put shoes on because it tricks your brain into thinking you have to work. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do that because I needed to clean my office.
Okay.
For a year, I wanted to get this whole all set up, everything cleaned. I did what should have taken maybe like 15 people in like 3 days from morning until night. And there's another little hack because I have a weird like sensory, like I don't like touching dry things. Like it drives me crazy. Like some things just like
what?
Like newspaper, unboxing cardboard, even touching like USB cables, hate it. Like it just, it's like nails on a chalkboard. So I got this lamp. And it came with like gloves, these like little white gloves, because they didn't want you to get fingerprints on it. Restoration Hardware, like, come on, freaking white glove like in there.
Like they're delivering furniture.
Yeah.
But the wherever you're gonna put it, the placement process, that shouldn't touch.
Yeah. So they gave you white gloves. So I put these gloves on. I was like, oh my God. Like now I wear gloves to like clean and unbox and do things because it like also tricks my mind into like I don't feel that weird sensory problem anymore.
Sure.
So like those two little hacks for me, it's been
You're telling me shoes and gloves
are
the key to me not
don't
getting
know.
distracted by stupid things?
For me, 100% was.
I see it.
It's
because
crazy.
with the shoes thing, I'm so comfortable.
I know.
I'm gonna just sit back, relax. But with the shoes, that's telling me I need to do something. I can't just sit back and relax.
I'm gonna blame all my productivity on the fact that Lauren yells at me. It's an Asian household, and that she makes me take my shoes on all the time. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You have indoor shoes. I have indoor shoes. Because I only have shoes that I would run on the treadmill with. So I'm like, I'm gonna put those on.
I love it.
So you're telling me that's the key to productivity?
Indoor shoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see it.
Anything else?
I don't know. The shoes and gloves thing has literally changed my life the past 3 weeks.
Oh, this is a new thing.
This is brand new.
Okay.
Like I'm a new person now.
Interesting. Well, I do think like going back to the whole like TikTok of ADHD, I'm always amazed when people like talk about like the terminology they use, like the side journey thing. The thought that like, okay, I have this really important thing. It's the one thing I have to do. It's the only thing that I really have to do. So you can bet your ass that I cleaned my kitchen better than I've ever cleaned it.
Yep.
What? How? And it's like, I think to myself, the things that I've done really, really well are before I was supposed to do the one other thing that actually had a time limit to it. And then I went and just became sufficient at this.
Yeah.
Why?
And then I forget what they were calling it, but it's like where you literally cannot force yourself to do something. Like I will just be sitting and like, I know I have to get up to go do this thing. And like there was like a term that they were using for it. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, I do that. So I was like, that's not just me having, well, I have a problem, but like, it's like a known thing. And then just like leaving drawers open, like there's just so many little things that I finally now feel like, oh, I'm not weird.
Think different.
Think different. Like
Right.
but it's like there's other people that have this and it's a common thing. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
all
And
right.
like, as an adult, you walk back into a room. It's like, why did I leave 3 of these things open?
Yeah.
Why, like, how could I have possibly been doing this thing, not finished that, and it's been 3 days?
Yeah. I mean, even my sister's just like, did you write back to the email yet? Did you write back to the email? Like my manager, oh my God, like our entire text thread is just refreshing the same screenshot of an email that I need to write back to. And it's like, I went to do that, but then I cleaned the garage, you know?
But the garage looks great.
It's great. It's great. It's
Okay.
great.
I couldn't relate to everything. What's that?
Looking up statistics on how many people have ADHD, because as a kid, it was like, oh yeah, 1 in 3 or some, crazy number. But the number I just saw was a lot lower than I
think it's
thought.
probably undiagnosed to a degree though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because I
we
definitely
all have a form of it,
Yeah.
or
think
ADD, you know.
But it's like on the spectrum, like with autism, like there's so many different spectrums for all of these things. And I think that's also interesting is how so many women are undiagnosed with autism. And it's crazy because it's like we learn to be whatever we have to be.
Yeah.
So
like fit the mold.
yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if I am or not, but it's like sometimes I'm like, it would make so much more sense, like my entire life, like if getting that diagnosis or something.
I mean, I just think in Pennsylvania or in the middle of Illinois where I was like, that wasn't a conversation anyone was having ever. Like my mother would tell you right now, he's not ADD. He's not. There's no world. Mom, let's be clear. I am.
Well, and I think it's just great now that like mental health and like these issues are being brought to the forefront.
Yeah.
Like it's okay.
Also more common than not.
Right.
Like everyone's brain definitely, like we've all known we all think differently. But like, I think there was like a line where like, well, but it's just up into this point. That's like a rare case. No, it's not. Not at all, actually.
Yeah. And the varying degrees of like, how neurodivergent are you?
Right. Truly. But also until people like say that enough times, the point where it's like, oh, that's a conversation you can have. It's like, what does that mean?
Exactly.
How does that work? But that doesn't apply to me, does it? No, it does.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that I want to make you relive almost dying,
Oh God.
but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that, and I do love how when I was listening to you recount and then like tell the story, the idea of that would be an interesting video. My friend does my surgery, like is already in your head as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No. And it's crazy because when you think about blood clots, like what is
I don't.
Well, yeah, but I mean, wouldn't if you would, like you would think like someone elderly or like in a nursing home or someone like immobile, like you're not moving and
Not someone going to jujitsu practice.
No. And it's crazy because I actually I saw you. When I saw you at FTLA, I was clotting.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because Lauren mentioned it later. She was like, actually, Justine had some like massive thing happen to her days after.
It was happening during NFTLA.
Really?
Like that week, I started feeling weird, but I had just run like 7 miles or something. So I was like, maybe my arm feels weird from, I don't know, like whatever. And
could you like physically feel it? Like, what did it feel like building up?
it just felt like my arm was starting to get swollen.
Okay.
And so I used to wear my Apple Watch and all my rings and stuff on this arm. And so I kind of stopped just because I was so afraid of
Sure.
And so the first thing that I noticed was my Apple Watch was getting really tight and I was getting annoyed with it on my wrist. And I was like, well, maybe it's just whatever.
Had some salty food.
Yeah, I don't know. But then that week during NFTLA, I was so tired. Like I was so tired that I was going to an event that night that I rented a hotel downtown because I had to take a nap and I couldn't drive home. I was so tired. Like it was so weird. So
Okay. And that's not like a thing you've done before, I assume.
no.
Right.
So I was like,
Hey, do you have a room?
I was like, I have to lay down. Like I felt so strange. So I took my nap. I felt great. And then like the next day, it felt still a little weird, but it kind of went away. And like my mom has always been very, I guess, telling us about blood clots as children. So it's something that's always been in the back of my mind. Like when you're on a flight, like that you're sedentary, you should move around because you could potentially get a blood clot.
Sure.
And so always my sister and I would kind of, sort of joke, be like, oh my God, I've been sitting so long, I'm going to get a blood clot. So it's a very common thing. So I'm like, now, do we wish these things into existence? Like when you talk about something so much.
The simulation picks it up, but throws it back in.
Yeah, but thank God that I had been talking about it so much because that Friday, my arm was so swollen. And this was after I went to like a dinner that night. And like I came home and I was like, something's not right, but I'm just going to go to bed and see what happens in the morning. So I got up super early, was supposed to record a podcast with somebody from NFTLA.
Okay.
And then I had to cancel. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't think I can make it. I'm going to go to the hospital. So I went to the like urgent care.
Sure.
And I showed her my arm and she goes, oh my God, we're not equipped to handle that. You need to get to the ER immediately. So
Okay. Thoughts right then.
I'm like, oh, well, I didn't eat yet. So I made an egg.
This is the most
Can I
Lauren thing
eat
ever.
first?
I need a snack. I can't go to the ER right now.
Could not. Thank God I ate. So I made some eggs, had a coffee. That was the last coffee I've had April 1st.
No more caffeine?
Hadn't had caffeine since.
So when I asked you what caffeine you wanted earlier, that's like we're still continuing your streak. Is
Yeah.
like caffeine a part of the blood clots, I assume?
No, we can go into that. We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so I have my coffee, have my eggs, and then my sister takes me to the emergency room, and then I come in. I'm like, hey, like I have a blood clot.
2.5 hours ago, I went to the urgent care and
Yeah.
they said they couldn't. And she said immediately, we can't handle this. Go to the ER. And so then I went home and I, did 7 things.
Yeah, I was hungry. I'm like, girls gotta eat.
Wait.
So
I love that.
I get there and then they do like an ultrasound. They confirm there's a clot, and then I'm there for like a very long time. And then they have to take me by ambulance to Cedars, like to an actual bigger hospital to do like the whole process. So they basically took a catheter. It was like, I forget what the actual term of it was. And then they ran like the catheter up to your vein to the clot, pumped in some drugs, which it's a very powerful drug that you have to be monitored on because if you fall or any type of bleeding, like you could literally just bleed out.
It thins your blood
die.
like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
So I was on that for 48 hours. The first 24 hours, it's supposed to work. And it didn't. And during this whole time, I was calling a friend who actually does this surgery in New York. So I'm like, should I do it? Do I do it? And then my sister's a pharmacist. So I'm in the operating room not knowing what is happening. And I'm like, hold up, doc. I got to consult with my team.
Right. Yeah. I got a big team. They all have a lot of opinions.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's like, I'm wasting their precious time. But also I'm like, this is my precious life.
Yeah.
And no one has told me what's happening. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on.
If that had gone poorly, we would have never gotten a Christmas themed parody, Jedi Light battle video in 3 years.
Yeah, I know.
Ever.
Maybe next year it'll happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was pretty traumatic because I couldn't use either one of my arms because this one had so many IVs in it. I couldn't even move it. And then
that one was for fluids and this one was for like treatment.
Yeah. So this one was just all jacked up and I'm like this. So my sister was feeding me, brushing my hair. Like I made her she even used like some dry shampoo and like tried to make me pretty.
Hopefully not the version that has the carcinogens in it.
No, hopefully not. But it was just such a crazy experience to go from being super fit, running to feeling like the best shape that I've been in to literally almost dying because the blood clot then broke off and went to my lungs. So that's what's really scary about blood clots is they can break off, go to your brain, go to your lungs.
Oh, it just moves.
Go to your heart. Yeah. Because it goes through your
veins.
Through your veins.
Right.
So that was super scary. And I went down and I was like, hey, I'm having chest pains. I think I can feel something. So at like 2 a.m., they took me down for a CT scan. And this was the best thing because I was like so just out of it, tired, a mess. And then the guy wheeling my bed back up, he looked at me, he's like, you're a legend, and gave me a high five. And I go, thank you so much.
That's so nice.
I know. And then like this old little nurse goes, oh, he's so sweet, isn't he? And I'm like, she has no idea what's happening.
But also that's nice.
I know. No idea. And like, it was just like one of those moments that I was like, my God, I really needed like a high five.
Yeah.
Like so much right now.
Yeah. But also like you're a legend and I don't need you to do anything right now. I just want you to know.
Yeah. Like
that's cool.
Didn't say that was all he said. And it was just, it was really cool. But like that whole experience, as crazy as it was, the caffeine withdrawal was so intense. It was more painful than almost anything else that was happening.
Justine.
I had terrible headaches. I wanted coffee so bad. I mean, I was drinking yerba mate, coffee. Like I based my days around it.
Your caffeine.
Yeah.
Okay. So was that a part of the blood clots? Like, are those related?
No, it has nothing to do with it.
But you made a shift.
I did, mostly because I was like, if I'm that addicted to something and that caused me so much pain, I don't want to have that. I don't want that. So
interesting.
That shift for me of not basing my day around something, it never made me realize how bad addiction is.
Ooh.
Because the addiction was so terrible. I mean, I would bring coffee with me in my carry-on. I would bring canned yerba mate in my suitcase anytime I traveled. If there was a Whole Foods nearby, like a hotel or something, I would, call ahead to make sure they had it. And it was crazy.
You had to get your fix.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think ADHD and a lot of that goes with a very addictive personality.
Oh, if I don't have because I take Adderall days that I work.
Yeah.
But when I'm not working and I don't take an Adderall, I'm looking for coffee. Like I'm looking for caffeine for sure. And it's like, I'm sure it's my brain going, we need something here.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like not having that addiction has been so freeing. Like I can't even explain. Like I don't feel any more tired. I don't feel any more awake when I was drinking coffee, but it was just like the act of drinking something, I think, was what was kind of keeping me awake. Really.
They say caffeine doesn't make you any more awake. It just makes you feel less sleepy.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't actually give you any energy at all. And I didn't realize that until this year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why, but you're just borrowing.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting anything out of the caffeine. It's just making you going to be more tired later on if you don't get more energy into your body. It's like, I would have thought it was at least a sugar or something next to it. It's nothing. It just makes you feel less what you should be feeling.
And there's also a lot of studies too with caffeine and ADHD that it has an opposite effect.
That's what I'm hearing too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. And also I think there's just so much studies that haven't been done in general on that disease. But that one in particular, it's like, do you give them caffeine? Do you not? Are they supposed to eat food? Do you want them to be more hungry? We know nothing. Like the most polar opposite fixes seem to be up for discussion.
Well, I think everyone is so different. You see how COVID reacts to different people.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know how things are going to react and you have to kind of figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And I think once you figure that out, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I know now I need to wear gloves and freaking wear shoes in the house to get work done.
When Lauren's like asking me like, what are you doing? Like I'm walking around with just like, you know, and like I'll have like one like my flare on top of that too. Something else like extra weird. She's like, what are you doing? Like, Justine told me to do it. It's a thing we do with ADHD. I get it.
It made such a huge difference. I don't know. So I think it's like once you figure out what works for you,
Yeah.
like freaking do it.
The thing that I think from a technology perspective that I like to touch on what you just said that I think will define the next version of everything that's like coming out is that idea of not one size fits all care for medication. And like the idea of you're going to have a very specially formulated version of everything for you.
Right.
And like, I don't know if you got into that world at all right now, like on the biotech side.
I mean, a little bit just because, so even being in the hospital, so I mean, I've had this Apple Watch on since day one. So I know my heart rate. I know everything. And then I've been wearing the Aura Ring. So like I have all my sleep data. So I have like my blood oxygen level that's being recorded through the night.
What does the Aura Ring?
So it mostly does sleep, but it will also do heart rate. It does blood oxygen sensing, and
Like-
it also does body temperature as
The
well.
newest Apple Watch does a little bit of that, right? But
Yeah.
that one just does more of it.
It does, and I mean, you have to sleep with
Yep.
the Apple Watch on to get those temperature sensing.
Yep.
So like this is so small that it's always on. And then also like my mom is always like, make sure you take your blood pressure and know your temperature. So I know that my blood pressure is lower, but that's normal for me. And also I have a low heart rate. So whenever my blood pressure was higher in the hospital, when I was actually having this, the blood clot was actually moving to my lungs, they're like, no, that's normal. And my sister
But
goes,
it wasn't normal for you.
no, my sister goes, that's not normal. I've been watching her heart rate and her blood pressure for the last 4 days in this hospital. That's not normal. And so
Really?
it's like you have to advocate for your health.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, these doctors are busy. You cannot blame them. And I think that we like to blame these doctors, but just sitting there for basically 5 days and watching the things that they have to go through, hearing the things that patients say to them, like the more kind you can be to them, the better care you're going to get because like they're not going to want to help someone that's yelling at them for something that is really not their fault.
No, definitely not. And also like they only have the information that's in front of them. Which
Exactly.
If it starts at 0, they're just, well, that's within the normal range.
Yeah. And they're seeing
interesting.
so many patients. And I mean, my favorite thing would come in, they'd look super concerned and they're like, okay, so tell me, we need to talk about this. What is lightsaber training? And I'd be like, oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say I was dying right now. Like,
Like, I'm so glad I asked, but like, could you just ask in a nicer way next time? What's the lights? I like how like everyone starts conversation. So what's lightsaber training?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But-
fascinating.
and unfortunately I've kind of not been doing it because that is sort of the thing that kind of caused this.
Do you think, so that was?
Well, so the syndrome is called thoracic outlet syndrome. So it's
Okay.
where you don't have enough space in between like your first rib and like the nerves and the vein. So anytime I do any overhead stuff, it's like that nerve
Doesn't get.
or the vein is getting pinched. So repetitive things like, this is very common in a lot of athletes, like
Sure.
swimmers, baseball, tennis, because they're doing lightsaber, sword
enthusiasts,
training.
yeah.
Yes.
Get it. Mhm.
So it's definitely common
Wow.
in that kind of genre, which is I never would have heard about until I posted about it and found other people, even other friends that have had it. Either they've got the surgery or they haven't got the surgery because they can remove the first rib and give you enough space.
Are you going to do that?
I think I'm going to because I can't enjoy my activities without being afraid I'm going to die.
Wow. So you're going to do it?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, now I'm worried that it's going to be in the other one too.
Well, yeah, it's fair.
Wait, you said rib?
Yeah. First rib. It's like up at the top.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even known that.
I
would have
didn't
thought it
know.
was like down here.
I thought so too. I'm like, can I wear it?
You're
like,
like,
as a
my God.
necklace after?
You would.
They said I can keep it after it goes through pathology.
That's
like
pretty
you can,
cool.
You can have it.
I love how you asked, am I able to, would you have to do both sides though?
I mean, I think I'm just going to do the one first.
See how it goes.
Yeah. Well, because if something goes wrong, then
Right.
like I could lose, I don't know. Not my entire arm, but like if they hit a nerve or
Oh, yeah.
if they puncture a lung. I mean, it's a lot in there. I've watched the surgery. It's not cool.
You've watched it?
Yeah.
You can watch surgeries?
Yeah. Don't do it now.
No, I know you.
So-
No, I know you can watch surgeries.
Yeah.
I was like, you can watch surgeries. I can't watch surgeries.
I mean, what's weird because I feel like we've become so desensitized from like video games that
Fair.
it feels not real.
Yeah. Is
And
that?
and then I'm like, wait, that's a real person. Oh, wait, that would be my body.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
here I am thinking she's like a Grey's Anatomy fan. She got used to it from the show.
Yeah.
No, video games.
Yeah, video games. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
so
no,
right.
Like in GoldenEye, you just, again, I get it. As far as all of the innovation and the things that you've been excited about or are kind of getting into, besides drones, which I know are
yeah.
your favorites, what excites you most, either whether it's going on currently or something that is like more like down the road? Do you think it's like wait, very big picture?
I definitely think it's health tech.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's going to be so cool. Like I've seen a couple
Thank
things.
God I guessed that right.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know, right? Like there's things where you can just basically like prick your finger and
Yeah.
get a blood test, and then
Not Theranos.
no. But it's like it'll be reading your blood and giving you like different like glucose
Yeah.
and like being able to like see how different things affect, and then they're able to train. I guess give you suggestions on okay, your blood was this reading,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you should do this kind of thing. So I feel like that's going to be kind of the future.
Yeah.
It's going to be as simple as doing that, or just wearing a simple ring or Apple Watch. And I think just making, like, I guess taking health back into our own hands
Yeah.
and making sure that you know what your normal is and being able to have access to doctors when you need it. Like the telehealth system, I feel like during the pandemic, I mean, I think that has changed for the better. Like being able to just do a doctor's appointment on your phone and having now doctor subscriptions. Like there's things like Forward, One Medical, where
I've tried One Medical.
One Medical is great.
Yeah.
And you just kind of subscribe to a doctor,
Sure.
and it's really interesting. So I'm definitely very excited about the future of health tech.
And like, I think it was like Mark Andreessen or maybe it was Ben. I'm not sure. They like said there's like, he doesn't ever think ideas are bad anymore. It's like ideas just are early. Like, and the idea of Theranos, and for anyone who's like watched the documentary or seen the show, the idea of just pricking your finger or just getting a little vial of blood and being able to tell everything has always been a great idea.
Right.
It's just like, how do you do it?
Yeah. And I mean, I think that was very, very far reaching, the things that they were trying to do.
Well, they also like raised money on a complete
Yes.
lie, which is the problem here. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, just things like even just the glucose monitor. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of those that you just like attach, it syncs to your phone.
Right.
And things like that, even if you aren't diabetic or you need that, like that could be helping you more than you would ever realize.
Well, I think the idea like that if everybody had an accessible way to see where they're at on a daily basis in an easy of a way as just like putting a watch on, we wouldn't think that the doctor was that crazy once a year or like
Right.
dreaded as much because it's like, well, who knows what's going to, like, where you're at.
Or things like allergy tests. So like things like Everlywell,
Yeah.
like you literally can just, send in your whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ones where you just send in your
Send in your
poo.
poop. Lauren's done it 19
Yep.
times and
Yep.
loves to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I
Oh,
wanna
like
do
her
that.
gut, she has so many like gut problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like to be able to just do that and
Yeah.
kind of take back, that.
Speaking of, if you're like at the idea like taking someone else's gut biome and their poo and putting it in your stomach,
Wait, yes, I did see that.
what are your thoughts?
I mean, if it works, it works.
I heard not only does it work, it's working.
Yeah.
Like, so basically, like,
What do you wait? What do we mean? Taking someone's poo and putting it
Gut
into
biome?
yourself?
Yeah.
yeah, go
You
ahead.
eat? Are you eating this
no,
poo?
they
No.
just like sticking it in.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, like you're not like you're eating. Actually, I think there is capsules, but
Oh, well, maybe.
yeah, I think there is. But no, the idea is that like if I can digest something, right? I'm not lactose intolerant. I grew up with a glass of milk this big at every meal. I can like that's easy for me, but not everybody else can. Like Lauren has it like, and that's the weekend. She's just like over in pain, and there's no end in sight. And if they could take what I have in my body that easily digests that and
Right.
put that into your body can like literally learn how to digest from it.
And then not be dairy free.
I don't know if it's like a permanent fix or anything, but like I think it's like something like where it's like training your body using natural like solutions,
Yeah.
which is not from your body.
Okay. I'm
No, it's
into
very
it.
What did
interesting.
I miss?
No, because my sister's also like very allergic to so many things, which actually started after she got COVID.
Okay.
Like now she has a string of things that have just started happening
Oh,
because
really?
of it. Yeah. And it's like because people, I mean, this is all still so new. So it's like people are still learning like what is long haul COVID? Like what can you
Yeah.
do to help that? So like she has all these weird allergies now. And
Wow.
then it's just it's crazy like the future of things like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna, and then this is my favorite one. I haven't tried it yet, but I keep getting this TikTok ad. I'm like, God, you guys know how to target me. You know how to target me so bad. I'll talk about two things. So the thing that I was talking about right now is you pee on a stick
Okay.
and then you take a picture of it and then it'll like go into the app and then it'll show you what you're lacking. Like if you're dehydrated or if you need
What's it
different
called?
types of minerals.
Yeah,
I
what's it
took a
called?
screenshot of it. I'll have to find it. It's something that starts with a V.
Send it to me.
I will. And then there's another one, which I just started a couple days ago. It's a lung trainer.
Okay.
So it's called AeroFit. And I saw a
Okay.
bunch of like
I've
these
heard of
jiu-jitsu
this.
people that
Yeah.
were like following it. And I was like, oh, this looks legit. Got an ad for it. Saw friends were following it. I'm like, that's good enough for me.
Sign me up.
So I did sign up, bought it. It came from Germany. It's here. So
Germany.
yeah, I'm like 2 days in,
Okay.
maybe 3.
You would be the person who like remember like I saw a picture of like the woman who was in the lab in the early 1900s like who would wonder what X-ray technology is. I'll just try it on myself every day. And like
Right.
their hand, like her hand was eroded by the time she was like dead. It like looked like a dead person's hand. So it's like she just kept doing it. Like, well, I'm doing it so far. I'm just gonna keep doing it. Like you for sure would be the person who's like, is anyone? No one's gonna do it. Okay, fine. I'll just do it.
Right. I'll try it. I'll try it.
What's the worst thing that could happen? Yeah, Justine, you are enigmatic to say the least.
Thank you.
I mean, this has got to be a fun job.
It's cool. Yeah. And I think that's something else that I've like flipped my mentality of. I saw some quote, I don't know, probably some cheesy Instagram person posted it, that is like changing your mentality of like, oh, I have to go make a video today to be like, I get to do weird stuff like this. And I mean, even though sometimes it is a job and it's exhausting and I'm, up really late editing because, why would I hire an editor when I could just do it myself?
Of course.
I don't know. It's really cool. And it's really, really cool to see what has become of this for other creators and how many people are now able to get to create, how many people have a voice that may never have, and how many people's lives it's changed that has taken them out of poverty to like, to actually doing really cool things and changing their lives and changing so many people. So it's so cool.
I think we're at the very, very beginning stage of like, what is the percentage of people who don't have a job that have created a career for themselves based off of the internet?
Yeah.
And like, I think we've kind of like known it, but it was like, oh, but that's 1 in a million or 1 in several 100 million. Like now it's like, well, 1 in 100,000, 1 in 10,000, 1 in 1,000.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like anybody can really do it, but to keep doing it, you have to be consistent and you actually have to really enjoy it. And, don't start making videos about things that you're like, shoot, why did I start doing that? Because then the audience that you're curating might only want to see that one thing, which I've definitely run into because I've done so many things. So like, you don't make videos anymore about cooking. We miss that. So it's, you run into that a lot.
Yeah. No, the themes I'm taking away from this is think different.
Yes.
And then when something doesn't bring you joy anymore, it's probably not bringing your audience joy anymore either, which I loved the fact that you're like, oh, daily vlogging sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. And then you stopped doing it and everyone watched your videos more. It's like, what a concept, of course. But it's like, of course, people want to see me enjoying things.
Yeah. And it's like, even you can fake enjoy something, but like deep down, it's like, you're not. Like you can just see it. Like I watch vloggers now. I'm like, you're so unhappy. That smile is not real. I've been there. But like, I don't know. It's like you get stuck doing it and that's just what you do and it's working. So it's hard. It's hard to switch.
Unless you're ADHD and then it's very easy to switch.
Yeah. You're like, new hobby. Let's go.
So our brains are superior in this one specific vertical.
Maybe.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Then the rest of your life is going to be a complete disaster.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Your personal life will be terrible. But like that one thing that you came on a side tangent for, that's going to be great.
Yep.
What are you most proud of and excited that you're creating right now that you want people to check out?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know. I mean, I think we didn't really talk much about Web3, which is why I even started hanging out with Lauren in the first place. Because I saw she posted about NFTs and I was like, oh, I get it. And we don't even have to get into that because that's a whole nother.
Well, actually, the question I would love to get from your perspective is, how do you look at every headline that would tell you why you should not care about it and either not listen or take that from as a perspective?
I mean, like, obviously it's like, oh, Web3, of course I'm going to check it out. Like I was there from the beginning for everything. So it's like, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I even drew an entire collection that I've never even launched. Like,
JPIGs.
Yeah. I wanted to learn.
Great name.
Like you want to talk about super hyper focused? 3 months I was drawing pigs, did nothing else. I just wanted to learn how to do generative art. And that was all. It was just like my mentality is
Like your sister must think you're crazy sometimes.
no, she does. Yeah, for sure.
But like, I think you need someone to think that you're crazy, but tell you it's okay.
No, I mean, family gatherings, drawing pigs. It was like Christmas last year, did nothing but draw these freaking pigs. And I was loving it so much. And it was just one of those things. I'm like, I want to learn how to do this. Haven't even launched it because I was like, well, I got out of what I needed. I know how to do it now.
You really do. I feel like when you don't have any subject matter, you just create the subject matter.
Yeah.
Like for everything. There's an easier way to do that, but I think it's working. Yeah.
But it's like, I definitely still want to launch it, but also, I mean, there is such this like negativity in the NFT space and I get it because I see it. I'm in spaces and I'm like, man, you people, things you're saying, you guys all sound miserable and you're being so mean to each other.
Yeah.
And like, that's the part that I don't like. But when I kind of discovered sort of the women in tech and it was like a whole nother, or women in Web3, it was like they were curating kindness, curating fun projects, really elevating art and creators and artists. And then now my main pitch was, hey, you know what? This is great because there's creator royalties. And then you took it all away from us. And I'm like, well, my pitch there is gone. But that's
not true.
No, it's not. But I'm saying like, that was kind of the headlines.
Yeah.
And then people came back to me like, remember when you told me about the creator royalties? What now? I'm like, look, they're going to figure it out. There's ways around this. But that's what is so powerful, I think, about kind of the Web3 space, which similar to Web2 is you really can do whatever you want. Like if you can code or you know someone that can code, like you can do anything.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful. And it's bringing ownership back to the creators. It's like there doesn't have to be a middleman. You can have all of that to yourself and be able to have that on the blockchain. And I'm sure, yes, there are ways to do it again in Web 2, but it's just, this is new. And one day you're not even going to realize that you're interacting with NFTs because they're not going to be called NFTs. It's just what you're doing.
I mean, I when I was trying to explain this in my like 9 to 5 that I've done for, it seems like forever at this point, the only thing I could think of it to like compare it to is the same way when you go on Spotify to listen to a song, you're not thinking about the compression algorithm or the fact that MP3s had to win out in a court case versus MP2s to then be sold to Philips, who then made the actual patent to make it like open source so everyone can, like, it's just like, no, LimeWire was free music and BearShare was free music and Napster was free music and this stuff is not. So I'll try that. But the UI kind of sucks. And then you've got some random guy from Sweden that goes, but what if we made it actually cool and better? No one's thinking about the tech because you don't have to anymore. And right now the tech is so new and so not fleshed out that it really is difficult, I think, sometimes to do very basic things. That will not be the case in the future. But until it's changed, you're not going to use that product.
Right. Yeah. And so it's just been kind of interesting to see people building and creating. And the thing that gets me though is because a lot of people were new to this space and just kind of came into Web3, they think everything that they're doing is new and unique. Yeah. And they're like, this has never been done before. I'm like, this is Web 2. It's Web 2 all over again. Yeah. Like it's literally the same. Like
everyone's first sentence, the first to this. I'm like, by the way, what you're doing is really cool, but it's not the first. Just take that off.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because it's like, I actually was there at the beginning of all of these social networks and seen things from the actual beginning. And it's just happening again. So it's like, what we need to take away is don't make the same mistakes they did. And it's like, it's just a vicious cycle.
It is. And like, I don't think that will ever not be that cycle. I think people like get excited about an idea. They become obsessed with that idea in their mind. They make it what they think it is. They're very biased towards that, which we all are. And then that controls the narrative until they see something bigger or better or different. And I think we're just really in the like awkward teenager stage of that.
Very.
Not even, maybe toddler. With days like yesterday when like $10 billion just disappears overnight.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, that's been going on since the banking system has been around.
Exactly. I mean, I think there's these trends that are happening. It's like they've already happened before. Yeah. But it's like now you have these social networks and these headlines and this distribution where you're hearing about it so much louder.
Like no one was like, and this is the other thing, this is so nerdy. This is not for this podcast, but I'm saying anyway. I was asked a question like on stage in front of 1,000 people who didn't care about what I had to say in the first place. They're like, and like I could tell with the moderator, he wanted to like back me into a corner here. And he's like, well, how is all this amazing technology? We've been to the moon, we've done this, we've done all these things, and none of it had all this negative attention around it. But Web3 seems to have all this negative, like right from the get-go. And I'm like, well, you have to understand that when the SMS or when email technology came out, those protocols didn't happen at the same time that there was going to be 1,000 conferences talking about emails because no one did that yet. They weren't connected in that way. There just wasn't this open forum of free distribution that was already available when new technology came out. And so it's not the same. You can't compare it apples to apples. Yeah. It's just a really easy way for anyone to say anything and to have it amplified, no matter what it is. And so it's a lot easier to talk about new shit than it used to have been 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has a platform.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have an audience, that can easily be elevated by anyone. So it is really kind of crazy, but I'm definitely excited about the Web3 future. I mean, even though it's going through a pretty tough time, like that happens. It happens.
I would actually go as far to say that I think we needed as much of a tough time as it is, and if not, maybe even a little tougher before we go, okay, let's go back to square zero. Let's think like humans again.
Yeah.
What's realistic? Yeah. Okay.
No, but it's definitely exciting.
So is JPEG's coming out?
Yeah, we'll see. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, I've already got them. It's literally done. We're at the finish line. I just gotta go over it.
What's holding you back?
I got sidetracked with YouTube where I actually make money.
Okay, yeah.
And
it sounds like a lot of like projects that could be profitable.
Yeah.
But you don't do them like in a profitable way. You just do them because you want to do them.
Yeah.
And then right at the point when they would start to make money, that's when you move on.
Yeah, no, I should have launched this a long time ago on ETH and not as my name, just a random, you know, PFP. But I was like, that doesn't interest me.
See,
You know, it's unfortunate.
I think part of your like charm and success is because you only do things that interest you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Sadly.
I should be a better scammer. I told you.
Yeah, no, I just scam. Like,
Yeah.
I think let's buy that URL right now before it comes out.
My scams died with the iPod scam. I quit after that.
No.
You know?
Never say never. It could come back. It could come back. All right. So that's what you're proud of right now? That's what you want people to think about? Or is there something else?
Oh, I don't
Because
know.
you do a ton of things.
Honestly, I'm just proud that I'm still alive.
Oh, this is true.
And that I cleaned my office out and I figured out a way to hack my brain.
Yeah. Do you have to like incentivize yourself? Like, I'm going to buy a new toy. And like, I only can buy myself a new toy once I clean my office.
No, I can't buy any new things. I need, no. Well, that's not true.
Justine,
I know, you're right.
You're going to leave here,
right.
refresh TikTok twice, and go, I need this thing right now. Okay. Devin, do you feel good now?
I think I do.
Are you sure?
Okay.
I could ask 100 more questions, but
Oh, I've never seen someone who has like a Wikipedia page that actually has information like on it that's real, that's helpful, that's like, it's just more info. It's like you've actually done things in this world.
I don't know who's doing that, but like they've kept it up for a very long time.
You say who's? I saw more, you have more sources that are tied to your Wikipedia page than I have people in my life that know I've done anything. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's thank you, audience, for keeping that Wikipedia page up to
Right.
date.
And if somebody could go in and has that capabilities and add that lightsaber thing.
Yeah, we need that.
that's essential.
Yeah.
That if there's anything that's accomplished on this podcast, that's it.
I
Essential.
forgot what we were even talking about, but I knew there was something.
Lightsaber with Wikipedia.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
Yes.
That was so long ago, I don't remember.
Lauren, I think we'll be back next week. Maybe not, hard to say. But I appreciate you. Thank you for being Lauren today.
Yeah. Next time, you're going to have to go away and then we're going to chat.
I would love that.
That'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
Oh
You're
my
the
God.
best.
We'll be chatting so much. It's great.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, stay alive.
I'm
We'll see you soon.
working on it. You
All
too.
right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.